Now you're my sugar daddy. Whoops, was a bit slow on the soundtrack switch there. Who else loves those chill vibes from the Zelda universe? One and all, welcome back to the channel for the Age of Empires reaction. I might have to rethink that map draft because the 7 series is fat and stacked. Welcome one and all though. Big shout out to MSN getting us kickstarted off really comfortably with the raid. Big shout out to everyone who's played throughout the week to come to this, the first finals of 30 for the KP Midweek Muster, the $9,000 esports circuit that, I'll just say it, Age of Empires 4 needs. This is the baseline. This is the proving grounds, the path to pro, which I think has been missing. And I'm proud to finally be through the first week with minimum issues, actually. I just want to, big golf claps to Akame, big golf claps to Tune, big golf claps to Nilly. And you know what? Firm handshakes to myself as well. We actually pulled it off. Week number 1, I would say, went almost flawlessly. Only minimal issues, things to figure out as there always will be, but bloody hell are we off to a good start here. And we've got a fun one ahead of us. Wham versus Louis. In fact, let me update it now. We are in the midst of them drafting right now. If you're just tuning in wondering what the hell's going on, this is just the first of 29 more grand finals to happen afterwards. But we've had an incredible first week. We can have a look at the brackets to see how we got to this situation. A crazy journey as well. One that saw Crackety, maybe not the biggest monetary winner, but definitely the biggest ATR winner when it comes to farming up the pro ladder. I mean, that guy stacked up the extra pointage to the point that he might have made someone think twice about queuing up again. Did end up falling 3-1 to WoW. We cast those games on Tuesday. If you guys look at the semifinals, you'll be able to find them there, as well as coverage of the Louis MT versus B. And I believe we done Louis versus Mahode on that day. But, you know, on the other side of it, it's not going to be a Canadian showdown between the two. Man, Louis MT turned up in that series against Puppy Paw. I think even WAM would kind of argue in favor of the fact that Puppy Paw is the scariest player in this entire bracket, and Louis slayed him. We have got an East versus true West, I guess, because you're NA priding up against China. Doesn't get much further apart, even though if geographically they're closer than, say, Europe. But this is going to be a crazy one, folks. So we are going to have a best of 7 grand finals here. It's why on this scene you can see there are 7 maps lined up. That's right. They banned it consistently. I think they actually, not a single set, it wasn't banned. If I'm not mistaken, Pigeon Valley never got seen once. It will finally make its debut, and it will do so in the finals. It could be a pivotal detail, especially if these players have not practiced on that particular map. In fact, I was checking the statistics before we came on. It's crazy to me. Ban-wise, it was 28 bans for Pigeon Valley out of a total of 29 games. There was only a single game where it could have been played, and it wasn't anyway. So pretty crazy statistics there. On top of that, we had lots of bans for Coastal Cliffs, Kotra, and Cliffside. They led the way in terms of bannage. Atoll, of course, could not be banned at all. Frisian Marsh's not banned once, not even once. Picked 13 times. Second most popular map in this tournament so far. But with that in mind, we are about to complete the draft, and we'll update on your screens now to see what kind of picture we are going to be painting with here. How are we Bob Rossing today? Boom! Get that in there. So remember, Atoll is going to be our first map. The rest are not as clear. Ignore the order. I've just put them in so you guys can see them. But we will be seeing every single map available in the midweek muster for the grand finals. Pray for Pigeon Valley map too. I mean, dude, while you got the good civs to kind of play the macro game, if that's your perception of how this map has to be played, then yeah, not a bad idea to do that. Bit tricky though when you consider looking at some of these picks for Louis, things that could be good for a macro game. Things like China, English, they're going to be highly desirable on maps like Atoll, on maps like Kotra. So it's not as simple, right? This is going to be an interesting thing. Atoll is going to remain in the map pool for week number 2. I think players are going to be a lot more comfortable and happy with the way it's going to function in that second rotation, because Atoll, just like Kotra, and I think Pigeon Valley will have this as well, it's more situational. The thing we ran into with Atoll is in the first game, like, you know, it's a map which is probably dominant for about 6, maybe 7 civs max, so it kind of funnels it. So for example, Louis is probably going to go English, and Wham is likely to go Juji for this first map, unless he's got some sort of counter pick in mind, like playing Japanese. We saw Louis MT almost drop that game to B in the Japanese-English matchup. Sick game by B. If you guys have not seen that, it will appear on the channel. Definitely worth checking out. But that could be an interesting way of spicing this up, and then you reserve the Juji for later in the draft. And what is up, KO4? Thank you very much for the subscription. Welcome to the Swarm. Guys, if you have not subscribed, you should be subscribing. This is the perfect point, the cusp, right? You're going to basically subscribe and not have to worry about ads for 4 grand finals out of the 30 here for the KP Midweek muster. Not to mention the fact that we're going to be live 3 times extra a week. Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays is the goal. We'll be live tomorrow casting the round of 32 for the second edition of this tournament. So pump those bad boys, get them in. Also, we are going to be drinking the protein works to keep us powered today. I just remembered, actually, as we get ready to go off to grand finals, I got my multivitamin gummies, dude. I love these. I'm so glad I noticed these. I noticed them because I need to keep vitamins up because I broke my bone, right? But I am so glad I got these. They're so nice and chewy. It's summer berries flavor, and it's just no annoying yang, 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 yang. It's just bite, bite, bite good. Really good for kids as well. As we know, I'm a giant man-child. But we are on the strawberries and cream from Protein Works today. Reminder. See, I can't interrupt myself. They're too good. I have to finish them off first. Reminder that if we do hit 15 purchases of Protein Works using the code KillerPigeon or using the link and whatever other code, as long as you do it in the time, I will dedicate money into additional show matches to happen throughout the week in the coming months. So that's my promise to you guys. So get on in there. It supports the channel. It keeps them coming back. And it makes affording these, running these tournaments a little bit more easy. Ooh, but with that in mind, Atoll is an opening map here. I think we are going to be seeing probably Zhuji English. The alternative is Louis goes for China, but Louis so far has singularly always picked English for Atoll as an opening map. The difference here is there's 7 maps potential, right? So English could be very good potential on Pigeons Valley, very good on Kotra as well. Louis doesn't have a phenomenal backup option for Kotra if China is for booming elsewhere. So it kind of locks him Atoll Kotra of English Chinese, unless he does something crafty like Mongols. I think Louis made on Ibids before. I'm still not crazy about Ibids on that map. But in fairness, there isn't a Malian pick here, right? So that's something less to worry about. However, I think if you go Ibids against Roos with that central control can be very dominant there. Even Zhuji reserved for that map could be scary. But yeah, the first map is going to be very telling. Like, this is the interesting part, is the way we kind of force the drafts is these flexy, versatile, very powerful picks are going to have to be used out of the gate. Zhuji in English, most likely, to be seen. What is up, Wolfheart? Thank you very much, man. Token appreciation you do for the AoE4 competitive scene. When are we going to rematch? You locked out last time. Whoa. I mean, Wolfheart, you're going to want to, like, rematch on the similar map, right? We went on Hidden Valley. We got Pigeons Valley, which was inspired by it. I think I'll just keep my 100% win rate against you. Funnily enough, guys, the goal is to, and I'm trying to finalize the details, and hopefully I will in the coming week or two, build a new PC. We'll be aiming to do that on a Thursday, probably around KPMM 4 to 6 is my goal, in time for Christmas. I might then start queuing up the ladder. So I don't know if people want it that badly, if everyone's begging for it, if it's an overwhelming, like, we want to see you play the game, not just cast the game, we might have to start doing a Road to Conk series. I'll definitely consider that with a new PC. And trust me, like, some of the parts I've got for this one, guys, it'll be easy to stream and play at the same time. Whereas right now, I'm using CPU generations that are like 3 gens old, GPU generations 3 or 4 old. So it's a bit tough. You can coach me? Whoa, Chum, I think I'll be coaching. Okay, what? Okay, there is only one Japanese master in the chat right now. Let me just check Baltoon's here. No, I'm safe. There is only one Japanese master in the chat right now, okay? I will have no other words said about this. Nippon is massive. Arigato, Mr. Robato. Bit confused on the format. You mentioned other finals happening too. Yes, Jarman. So this is the first of 30 tournaments we are going to be running. In fact, maybe I just cheat and use this scene as well. So we have actually got 30 tournaments in total planned, which you can see based on this graphic here. So 32 players each time. 16 will qualify through from the previous. If they do not want to take up the invite, they don't have to. We will just invite more people based on the second criteria, which is there's 16 open slots, 8 of which will go to people based on the tournament ELO placement. That is the rankings you get after playing tournament after tournament after tournament. And the other 8 will go to ladder-based performances, so your rank in this particular season. So yeah, $300 every single week. We might have potentially occasions where we're going to roll it over, so I'm speculating right now that people over Christmas will want to chill with the family, in which case what we'll do is we'll roll that prize pool over to the next week. So it might be that, for example, first week of 2025, we do a $600/$900 prize pool for that particular tournament. So yeah, pretty amazing. Like, big shout out again to World's Edge. Big shout out in particular to Nilly for helping make this come to fruition. He saw my idea. He appreciated the passion and the thought gone into it. And he agreed that, like, this is something that AoE4 would deeply benefit from. Whew. So, Just waiting for them to get set up now. I think we're good to launch whenever they are. By the way, it is going to be a redraft after Game 4, at which point we'll use the best of 3 draft that was used in the earlier rounds of this tournament before we go into best of 5. So what you'll end up with is, in that case, it will be, I believe, 4 bans and 4 picks per player. So the whole idea there is still to give some leeway. You don't want to have this situation where you get into the finals of the draft and someone is just basically screwed, right? I still remember the earliest days of AoE 4, and it just hurt when people were already at a point by Game 4 that there was no comeback potential. Check your comments above. Oh my god, I'm scrolling so much. We want weather effects? Oof, yeah, my current PC would love you for that. The new PC will do fun with it. I mean, take it up with the devs. Like I've said, there's ways to monetize. I think the big challenge that people need to consider with this monetization, which I've talked about before, is obviously there is initial dev cost of setting those things up. So the game has to reboom first before you can monetize it with DLC cosmetics. Because otherwise, like, you're creating a cash shop, and a cash shop has extra overhead from a developmental side of creating that entire storefront. So it's different in that regard, right? There's a lot more that goes in than just add skin, right? There's the unlock potential, everything else around it. So we are just a minute and a half away from hopping to our first game. I can confirm it is going to be a Zhuji, but Louis has actually thrown a curveball. He's gone Chinese. So that means Louis got Mongols for Frisian. Kotra could be Ayabids. He could run Mongols there. English works really well on Kotra. Yeah, he has options. And remember, not all these options are going to be used. What is up, Blitzkrieg? Thank you very much, my friend, for equipping Corvinus with all the skins he needs, with all the emotes he needs. But what I'll get ready to do now is we will prep to switch over. Just checking everything last second is running smooth and operational. I believe YouTube, Twitch are both up. I mean, if you can, guys, always recommend, like, if you're going to watch YouTube because you prefer the quality, great, but please keep the Twitch open as well. It helps when it comes to getting sponsors because they can see the numbers are good. Whereas it's very hard right now to sell sponsors on YouTube live numbers, as the statistics are harder to track unless the, you know, the content creator gives it all to you. Wait, is it a different draft tune? Can you load that into the back end, please? Because my game is barely holding on right now as we load in game. You know how it is. Right now, AoE4 is a bit of a lag fiesta. Like, I'm barely able to click anything but in-game. Dude, I can't wait to make this new PC. It's going to make the world of difference. So if you don't mind doing that, Tune, you're a superstar. Oh. All right. You ready? Oh, you meant Civ Picker. Okay, gotcha. All right, here we go. It's finally happening. The first ever grand finals in the midweek muster. One and all, welcome back to the Age of Empires for Action. Welcome back to the channel for our first of 30 grand finals here across our esports circuit for Age of Empires 4. WAM will kick off this grand finals with Zhuji in the blue going up against Team Elephant's Louis MT on the Chinese. And bit of a grudge match here, considering Louis slayed WAM's bro in the semi-finals, so revenge has to be on the mind. And this is already a big curve shot. This is already a big difference, because what we actually have is an adjustment from Louis. Louis MT has not gone English. So far in this tournament, every single game has been English for him, opening on Atoll. This is a wild pivot from him, but he still has English for later in the draft. English looking like actually probably the most or second most picked Civ or banned when you compare the two. But this is crazy, man. Like, I'm intrigued to see what Louis' approach is going to be, because Zhuji versus Chinese on this map typically should, when you think of water, should favor Zhuji. But because we're on a hybrid map, there are options China has. And one big one we've seen is that Zhuji players cannot catch a break when it comes to their meditation gardens. Usually on this map, you want to run for the center, drop a Medigarden here, get 36 food, 75 gold, and about 10 wood. That's an insanely good meditation garden. But due to the Chinese having a Barbican play, it's not actually that feasible. I'm wondering if WAM is still going to try for the play. Maybe gather wood first would have been cool, and then you could build an outpost. But considering there's no wood being gathered, I think he's just going for the meditation garden safely at home. And okay, he can go for the Medigarden at home for good reason here, folks. In fact, if he sticks it here, that's going to be 48 food, 25 gold, and probably about 20 wood with 25 stone. That's an incredible meditation garden. You don't always get these back spawns, but in a way, Atoll functions a little bit like Holy Island. If you guys remember, that map was incredible for Zhuji because the opening meditation gardens could jackpot you over 150 resources a minute, which for reference is like having 4 extra villagers before 5 minutes. And yep, there it is. Louis, is he going to block it? He knows. I think you just leave the sheep here. Yeah, just spread the sheep out. Maybe club them down if you can. He does force a slightly worse one here for Wham, so it looks like Wham isn't able to clip through the base. He cancels it, though. Louis, he didn't have the brass to hang around there. He wants to get the sheep home. So, well played by Wham. He only lost, like, what, 3 seconds by canceling and rebuilding? He hadn't even started yet. So this is going to be a solid one. Wham looking pretty strong right now. I'm seeing the predictions. Huge amount of points coming in. We're about a 50-50 break or close to. Not surprised. I mean, either of these two could take it. Louis MT really is the beast from the east. And Wham, I mean, NA pride on the line, right? About as west as it gets if you ask any American. It doesn't get much further apart than this, despite the fact there's only one ocean between them. The ocean on this map, definitely a small one. Imperial Academy is going to be coming from Louis, so more of a macro game. This is where China can be quite advantageous because what we haven't done is played water. And I'm wondering if we ever are. Considering Wham just pulled this many onto the trees, we're probably going to see a dock drop. Likely on the inner sanctum, not the outer. On the other side, Louis also started to gather quite a few villagers. So I think we are going to have a boat off here. Remember, both of these civs do get the 10% discount. They have quicker build speeds to build the dock in the first place. Wham. Able to get that age up with the glorious meditation garden. This is going to be a true testament to which one is better, considering Imperial Academy consistently, to me, is like a top 3 feudal landmark across the course of this year. Ever since they buffed it so that it gives a discount on your taxmen now, this thing has essentially bolstered the weak point in Chinese gameplay, which is early game. They get away with so much because of how good this landmark is. So, dock up. It's going to be Archer ship opening. Now, Louis should be aware he's a little bit later on his timing. He did just scout in, so we're probably going to be seeing a sprinkled ship reaction here. I mean, I hope so. The tricky part, though, is Wham is so far ahead, he could be pumping the demo. This is expected, by the way, as Zhuji should typically age up before you. Not just because he committed 3 villagers, but also because of the Tang Dynasty giving the 15% discount. And I believe Louis, he did go for the taxman here, which is intriguing. Considering Louis was the guy who originally started to really pump into this no Imperial official build, and that we are on a water map where he didn't fish, I am a little bit flummoxed that he still went for it. I guess he was worried about the central meditation garden, so needed to have that as an option, but ooh, that is pure pain. Great trickle damage in here from Wham. It's going to prove quite impactful, and also the junk ship could end up going down here, Demo. Okay, yeah, that's a loss. You can't save that. You legit can't. The Archer ship should be able to finish it off. One more hit. He gets it, but the villagers come in range as well. Just about switches around. Yeah, so that was crafty from Wham. He intentionally kept the demo ship between the Springald and the shore so that if the villagers came nearby, they would die. Sick opening from the Canadian, and Louis MT already looking like he's on the back foot here. Behind this, we do have an additional Archer ship coming in, so 1 Springald double Archer. He just wants to try and catch that opportunity to snipe these guys when they come over. On top of that, having double Archer ship should make it theoretically impossible for a demo to connect on the war junk. The other thing that's really cool here is the Archer ships in general are really strong on this peninsula because they can snipe eco on land quite easily. Yeah, this is rough. We might have a quick game 1 on our hands. Louis needs a quick way of hitting back into this. I like that he's extending out into the deer. The tricky part is if this turns into land, I don't think China's favored in the early game. Think about it, guys. Like, what favors them? Economy is the one thing, but now your opponent has fishing. You can't play Horsemen because Zhuji have got Dali horses now in Season 9, which gives 20% better attack speed. And you can't go Zhugnu because you have to go Barbican first, while Wham already has access. Right? And by the time you get Zhugnu, Wham could have already built 7 or 8 Zhugnu himself, or he could have gone Castle Age. And yeah, there's that Horseman detail we talked about. He's getting both of them. This is brutal. So does Louis just try to fast castle is what I'm wondering. The tricky part is I don't know if he has enough food. 8 sheep left. He's gathering on the deer, but unfortunately the Springald ships, they do have decent range. I mean, the Archer junk could probably still reach these. We do have a Rax reaction coming in, but the fact that there's going to be Jugnu is problematic here. It gets even more problematic if we ever scale up, because remember, you do have those bolt magazines to annihilate spears. This is suffocating right now. He has full eyeballs on, so Louis can't really make a move back onto water. And we have got what looks like a castless play. The tricky part is the gold. Yeah, he needs to push more people over here. Only one villager right now. Taxation could get you there, but instead, Louis, he's going for a Barbican drop. Yeah, so this is going to be the Barbican. A blast from the past to kick off our finals. Not something we see too often anymore. He does have to wait for the last taxation drop-off. One villager alone is not going to get in there quick enough. So Mr. Taxman is now shuffling it back. Louis does already have a problem coming, though, as Wham has got the Horseman, has got the Jugnu, but he doesn't know. Well, well, well. Game might not be over yet. I mean, I say that the boar is really far away, right? He stabbed it down. No, he let it go. Okay. So he can pull both boars in. This is kind of sick, actually, guys. That is 4,400 safe food. Kind of compares you to the shoreline fisher, right? Because shoreline fish in total from both sides, I think is 8. So that's 4,000 food. So you kind of just compete on land. And remember, the gathering rate on huntable boars is so quick compared to shoreline fishing for boats. Yeah, so it looks like Louis on a survive trajectory and Wham's on an all-in path here. Problem is he still doesn't know. And I love the fact that Louis is just keeping the scout here to guarantee he isn't seen. The board did just get aggroed. Remember, this is seen through the fog, and he should eventually see the icon disappear. So he should have seen it now. Wham. Is he too distracted, though? I think he might be. He's a little bit tunnel visioned here. He should be kind of paranoid, and you're seeing it already. He's checking the backside berries, because this is the only way it makes sense that Louis doesn't have food gathering here. That's when it should become obvious to Wham what's happened here. But at that point, Louis, he's got the Barbican up. He is halfway towards a castle play. He's starting to scale into archer ships, but I don't know about this. Going back into water is kind of tricky. I guess going castle feels just impossible from this position, right? Like Zhug plus Horseman, they'll just dive you. Because remember, the other thing is Louis doesn't have a blacksmiths, so there's no extra damage coming out from the TCs. Meanwhile, Wham, he could be going all in with blacksmith tech very soon, because traditionally the standard follow-up to this is you go blacksmiths into siege engineering and then rush steel arrow behind. Triple archery range now. Louis, if it was important, why didn't Louis make the barbecue next to his dock? Because what does it protect? That's the problem. You drop a barbican here, you protect like 2 shoreline fish. It's not good value, right? So you protect 1,000 food here, or you could secure the late game gold over 4,000 food, more than that because of the deer, right? It just makes more sense to barbican to the center. And also, once he saw the meditation garden was going up and it was a really good backspawn, he had to build the Imperial Academy reactionarily to keep up with his economy. Reactionarily might not be a word, but it's my channel. So Wham's going to castle. Yeah, this was to be expected. We also do have an outpost creep, which I love. Oh, this is sick if he gets it up. He's going for the wall in range, though. Wham hasn't reacted yet. Okay, he goes for his own outpost. The problem is this outpost is more impactful. If you don't see him in time, I think he should be able to get the kill, though. In fact, if Wham immediately garrisons, he will kill that villager. Tricky game, right? Like Wham on Juji up against Song Chinese is leading in economy right now. No kills had, it's just the fishing and also now the trade. We've seen this before, right? Set up here, trade to your opponent's side. So 50 free wood and 50 free gold each end for Wham. Looks like he didn't actually garrison. I'm a little bit surprised by that. What? Wait, but why? Oh, he readjusts as well because the outpost was in range of the Barbican. I think that was a missed opportunity. Wham could have got his hands on this villager kill for free. So he's at least got hand cannon slits coming, but the villager gets away. Could even think about setting up a dock here. Louis does have a challenge, though. He got baited back into H2 while Wham was going H3. Looks like the army's going to march around. Hand cannon slits are on the way, but you could theoretically just burn this down in time. Jugnu are going to find the villager kill. Horsemen are going to try to burn through here. So you might lose 1 or 2 units to get rid of this outpost. And yes, folks, Wham is literally trading. I can't believe it. It's not the weekend. It's not even the free-for-all tournament. The problem is Wham, by trading, he's forced Louis to recommit onto sea from a disadvantageous position, which is weakening his push on land. Dives in, but with the hand cannon slit outpost, there's no staying here. Double defense good enough. Louis has to retreat. I'm getting a very bad feeling right now for Louis. What's his out here? I guess he's going to try to go for castle, but the problem is your opponent's already pumping lances. He's going to be going for relics quicker than you. Louis does have the better Nest of Bees, right? And we have seen that this map can have a tendency to grind to a halt and turn into a siege slog. If time allows for that, that's where China should be favored. Wham's trading is at what right now? 3 boats coming in, so looking pretty good. 106 resources each boat. And we do have the bolt magazines. Yeah, so this makes it impossible to play spears. Because remember, bolt magazines increases the range of Zhuji Zhuganu and also gives them +3 damage. Pretty substantial up against spears, actually. It's kind of like a in-between for archers being better against spears, right? Just about breaks, but loses the villager there. So still good value being found for Wham as he pushes back here on the north side of the water and pushes in on land. Outpost being rushed up. So Louis just trying to take a leaf out of Wham's book here. Run the same strategy as static defenses to hold on. Hand cannon slits are good against armored units. The problem is there's so many of them potentially coming down the line. But now we can see Wham is a little bit light on his push. But I think that's because we've got more and more water coming. This rune is going to be traded out. This one Sprint could kill both of these, by the way. Demo's coming in behind. Not really needed here from Wham. But dude, this one ship is going to 3v1. Oi, oi, oi. There's not much left of his fleet at this stage, and Louis MT still needs to go age 3. Guys, you can't play water any longer because your opponent could easily be going for things like armored hulls that would just give them an advantage. On top of that, the pressure on land is starting to mount up. Wham did go for an ambitious dive here, learned the hard way why you can't disrespect these hand cannon slits. Yet a little bit surprised we never saw him just go back for either a siege workshop into a trebuchet or go for rams. In fact, the more puzzling part to me is that we are now in castle. He was playing Zhug. He's trying to dive, but we don't even have a blacksmith still. Like I said, Undermesh less value against hand cannon slits compared to arrow slits. But I think when you consider you're forcing garrisoning spots, it would have actually helped make a difference here. This meal is Louis kind of, I don't want to say stabilizing, but compared to where he was about 3 minutes ago, his position looks so much better now. And I agree, this map is really good. For those wondering, Atoll will be returning in week number 2 of the KillerPigeon's midweek muster. However, it will not be the default map, so it'll be up to players to pick it. I'm sure Crackety will be trying to spam it. Outpost denied here. Other thing is he could easily just bring a boat over to deny the deer and the berries. The thing I love about this map is it's so claustrophobic and the food is so funneled, right? You get into kind of a slog of a war around the center. We do give backup options, right? Because you want to have these comeback moments. But one thing that can be a bit tricky with this map is that defensive landmarks in general feel very strong. It's why Louis is playing the Chinese. It's why we've seen him play English before with the white tower drops. So many outposts, so many mills. In theory, Wham should run out of food first, but yeah, he's going to go for the farm transition now. Pretty smart. He's got the trade, bringing in wood, not just gold, so it's kind of paying for it, right? Sure, there's an initial investment, but we're reaching the return period. 53 wood each way. Definitely enables him to get into these, and even without the Song Dynasty, it seems feasible. He has rippled around here, but looks like the food source has shifted elsewhere. We've got a dock in the center. So Louis trying to get back on water in the middle of the map here. Or maybe this is just about gathering, but what? Louis! He doesn't realize what's happening here. That delay cost him dearly. About 5 villagers going down. More to follow as Wham sees the opportunity and dives in. Zhug and Nu are here. The Barbican will not protect everyone. He's in a panic. Louis about to be close to 30 villagers behind. On top of that, this is denial to the food, right? He got starved off of the berries and the deer here. He can't access the deer over here. He has got boats coming in, but it's starting to feel like it may be too little too late. Wow, what a timing by Wham. That wraparound all the way around the back of the tree line to deprive the food, and then he still goes for the dive, doesn't even care. Just shows you how impactful the Pulse Guard are when they start to come out. These hand cannon slits don't kill them anywhere near as quick as they kill the feudal variety of units. Louis MT is going to have to start to reflect on this one. Should he went for the English after all? Civ that has not failed him time and time again. I mean, we've seen this before. Like on water maps, usually should win. On hybrid maps, usually still feels really good. And we have now got Louis wrapping around on the trade. So some damage is going to be done here. He has got boats on the way to defend. He also has the dock nearby. I wonder, does Wham care that much? Could he just focus on land now? It's starting to feel like he may be at a point where it's viable. But this is still kind of a clawback for Louis. If he can shut down the trade, that's about 8 extra workers dead. Yeah, 7 trade ships remaining. Even with that in mind, though, it's close. It's about, what, 20 eco lead almost without those traders. Tricky one. And remember, it is deceptive because the trade ships count at double pop. So, what, we're going to be going down by 12 more. It's actually not too bad. 56 to 44. Still, I want to really emphasize this to people. Louis can't count beyond 3 here. He's still in age 2. Wham's graduated to high school, and this guy's still in primary. And I think he just heard me there. GG gets called. So, dominant performance in game number 1 by Wham, right? That retracted spawn, giving him a huge edge with a meditation garden. But, I mean, props to Louis for almost finding a way back in. It shows you how powerful the Barbican can be in the center, but also shows you a key route to unraveling it. Keep tuned, though, folks. Keep looking for the uploads, because I'm sure these are all getting up on YouTube. We've still got potentially 6 more games to come in the first finals ever. I'll see you all in the next chapter. Whew. Damn. Game 1 done. Not bad. Yeah, trading on that map's pretty good. I think Beastie was the first player to show it in one of the games, is that he basically, in that game, he walked across to his opponent's side and built a dock to trade into them. I think that was in the series against Krakedy. It was a really sick play. So, we have got prediction payouts here. We are going to update the bracket. So, game 1 is going to be Juji versus CN. And that is going to be a win for Wham. So where does Louis go next? You want something that's strong for English. Your opponent still has Rus here. Do you go Socotra? English Socotra. What does he have for the remaining, though? Coastal Cliffs, he's got covered. Pigeon's Valley would feel a bit weak. Like Iabid's French, Jaune. You could do Jaune or French for like a macro game, maybe. I don't think they're terrible on Pigeon's Valley, because if you can force a macro game, you get to that hyper late game of like mid-late castle, maybe even Imperial. Will you try out Brighter Shores? I don't think I've seen Brighter Shores. I'm not sure I've seen that one. Oh, I hate myself. Anyway, let's get ready to go. I think, are they into game 2? They are. Boom. And there's your confirmation. That's why Louis didn't use English. He wants it for Cliffside. That's a bit wild. I'm not sure I'm totally on board with that. Against Japanese in particular. What do you think of Mind Goblin? What is in Mind Goblin, and how do I rent one? All right, someone timeout, Neri. You guys, do you want me to really make your day? If someone gets timed out, they lose their VIP. I'll leave that to the mods to sort. All right, off we go. No, Tube, they're meant to use the redemptions for it. What have you done? All right, anyway. Well, we questioned where the English was going to be, and it's already making an appearance in game number 2 of the finals here in the first ever midweek muster. 1-0. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Age of Empires for action. Team Elephants Louis MT with the English pick in this game. Wham, in game number 2, building an early lead, looks to back it up with a Japanese pick. In fact, let me switch that around because that score needs to be flipped. So, really cool game. In the first one, we had a Chinese Juji matchup, kind of close to a mirror, but different on Atoll. Cliffside is an kind of ambitious attempt here by Louis. I've said before that I think England can secretly be like top tier pick on Cliffside because of the Council Hall rush. But Japan can be a nuisance, especially if they get spawns like this. This is a jackpot. And what is up, Zuby0T? Thank you very much. Definitely blood for the blood gods coming in this one. Appreciate the subscription. Welcome back to the Swarm. So, yeah, kind of tricky here because usually on this map where English look good, it's a bit RNG, coin flippy, because the gold being forward spawning gives you an advantage, right? You play Lombos, you pressure this resource here. The resource is berries. So the only way this now really works for Louis is if Wham gets barely any sheep. He's already up to 8. Louis is at 12, so it is trending better. I'm just not sure if it's trending well enough yet. Yeah, something tells me Louis is probably going to go for the Abbey of Kings. He's probably going to scout the spawn, go, oh. And although he sounds French for a name like Louis, I don't think he's going to say C'est la vie, but he's going to think it, whatever the equivalent is in Chinese. How do you guys vote, by the way? Ooh, lofty amount going in favor of Wham there. I mean, that first game was pretty impressive. I wouldn't write Louis off yet. I think he still has some really good, healthy picks. French/Jaune has ranked up. French in particular feels a lot better than people were giving it credit for previously. Players have started to clock onto that. You've still got things like Mongols as well that with the right situation can distrominate the games. The question is going to be whether he's unraveled the draft enough. And okay, yeah, this could be a very quick second game. Council Hall is coming in from Louis. Wham, I love the way you began this. This is so underrated. Guys, just move forward. You need to build a house anyway. Build it straight away. Get into your Tawara. That'll give you the better gathering rate. And by the way, they recently buffed default berry gathering rate, which means Tawara, these wheelbarrow techs for Japanese, were buffed as well as a result. So it's even bigger. Like gathering at this point, if I'm not mistaken, with just one tech level, might actually eclipse gathering from sheep. And what he's doing is he's taking the risky resource now before the potential Lombo rush or the King play comes in. Gura Storehouse going to be going up on the tree line. This became a really efficient thing a while back. I actually think B was the first player to start doing this frequently. By building the Gura Storehouse like this, yes, you are sacrificing some farm placements, but you protect yourself against aggressive civs like Lombos from English. But also, if you need to go wood, you now saved 50 wood in the early game, which is really important to optimize those timings on getting outposts up on the gold. Of which, when you're up against English, you're typically going to need 2. 2TC English still favored versus Japan anyway? I don't know if that's entirely true. On a map like Cliffside, that can actually backfire very quickly. Especially considering like 2TC English will need to secure gold, right? But I understand the thought here from Louis. Louis is going to have to find a very specific timing around Rams. You can still make it work, even if Japan gets Castle Age. The logic being is if you have 2 or 3 Rams and they just teched up, you actually intentionally wait for them to drop a Yorishiro, and then you delete the building they drop it in with the Rams, right? So then they've lost the production increase. What would be ironic here is if Wham played into the... Oh god, I don't even want to say it. If he played into the Buddhists up against the guy who has had the most success with them, right? Unlikely, but possible we could see Temple of Equality. Is it 5% buff on berry gathering? I think so. Someone could double check the numbers. I think it increased by like 0.06. Might be 10%. Actually, no, it might be. I think there was 0.66. Now there's 0.69. Nice. But then with the 25% increase, like you're better than the 0.75 of sheep, right? So just one level of wheelbarrow makes you better at gathering berries than gathering mutton. And it looks like the mutton gathering is going to come to an end as Louis does muster the first Lombos on the front line. Now, notice that Wham is trying to be very efficient about this. He only put 2 in the end on the Gura Storehouse so that he can get double outpost up over here while not sacrificing the scalability of his Castle Age play. With the stone gathered, he's almost going to be peak pointed here to go for the double arrow slits. It's a bit of a gamble, though. Notice he queues up this one. Still needs to get a little bit more stone before he can prep the second. If Louis moves with urgency now, he could arrive before the outpost gets Arislets on the west side. But he needs to move fast. And right now, Louis is not moving with that urgency. Instead, he's choosing to target the farms. All right, Louis. So, from this position, you need blacksmiths. Like, right now. Because you're going to need to get into siege engineering ASAP here. You've got 5 lombos. You should be able to protect yourself. Instead, though, there's no way he's going to DC. No, that would be pure insanity. That would be 2 TC at, like, what, 9 minutes? You'd have 2 Mad Samurai coming towards your base by then. So it doesn't make much sense. Yeah, it has to be for the Arislets. So we have got the outpost on the way. It does block the wood, but remember there's a secondary tree line here, so this isn't the backbreaker straight off. What it will give Louis is a good attack speed aura, but if this is the strat he wants, he's probably going to need to set up a barracks here as well to deal with the potential Mounted Samurai on the way. I don't know, I'm not convinced by the outpost Aris play. I mean, I'm hoping he's going to be able to prove me wrong here. I don't want to have this situation where we're trending 2-0. Usually when you get 2 games ahead, you get a ridiculous lead in tournament play because the effects it has on the draft, your opponent can essentially force you to throw away really good civs by intentionally selecting bad civs so that you're weaker on the follow-up map, right? And the dynamic of that is very important to highlight here, guys, because let's say, for example, Wham wins this map. Next map, he just gives Louis a freebie win. Well, that has a double impact because then what's happened, not only has Louis thrown away a really good civ that might have been fantastic on another map simultaneously, but then Wham gets to choose the bad map for the remaining civs, right? That's the power of early game advantages here. It's why I've always said I don't like the idea of giving a 1-game advantage in grand finals, right? Because it has this ridiculous impact. So floating gate now on the way. Wham is just trying to min-max what he can here while the Lombo count is too low, but... Oh, that was uncomfortably close. 2 HP remaining. Does keep the worker alive. Has at least got the ability to use one of these farms still, but the Arislets just came in, so that's going to be all these northern farms shut down. Because Louis hasn't killed these, and... Oh no, Wham, he didn't notice. Yeah, this is the tricky thing. Remember, these alerts are pinging constantly, so eventually they'll stop for Wham. He thought that was the farm being attacked. He didn't realize it was the villager. And this has to be Mounted Samurai. Louis trying to tech behind this. So I think his hopes is that this distracts long enough to get him his own age up. Probably with King's Palace here. Tricky part is, like, if you want to play this way, you still need to go some spears to delay the play, right? Wham. He is gathering the last piece of wood. The Lombos came back. Another outpost went up. Okay, so I'm kind of getting convinced this is working a bit because Wham's pull was a little bit off. Another villager goes down. How dare I doubt him? The chosen of the Chinese. He may be doing this. Wham did get the wood. He has got the stables on the way, but he has no extra wood afterwards. So his Mounted Samurai have to be impactful. Now, food-wise, he's got 7 sheep left over. He should be able to get enough to get out of this. I'm starting to wonder if you have to go all in. Yeah, this is the only way it makes sense, right? Because the problem is Louis, he didn't build a Rax. He didn't have Spearmen coming to block this play, so this has to pay off. The villager pull is on the way. 25 villagers. Almost the entirety of Louis MT's economy is coming. Is this going to fail, though? Villagers are getting trickled away out. Looks like one of them is going to be brought down. The Mounted Samurai has arrived, though. Louis, can he do this? We've seen him do this with White Towers before, but very different situations. Mounted Samurai is slowly being killed, but the second one just came out already. Louis MT Textiles is on the way. It's do or die. Wham, he's got the villagers coming as well. Shivs are out. He needs to micro this perfectly. Shuffles away. He needs to stagger them one by one, but instead he's kind of idling them out. He's going to go back in for the build here. Mounted Samurai, it goes the wrong way around. This is buying vital time. Wham, has he done enough? Because the garrison straight away is going to cost you, what, 2-3 villagers. He knows it. Wham backs out early, but it may be a little bit too late. The Lombos have been being ignored, so they've killed a few villagers in return. It looks like another one will go down. So 8 to 10 worker kills. After all that, Louis MT is somehow not dead. And now he has a strong stranglehold on Wham. Wham, who is snuck out to the south side to gather wood. The longbow saw that. Now Louis MT can go immediately into a knight if he gets the food together to harass that eco. Holy crap. He can do a ram push. I hope you mean Louis, because Wham is not going to get the wood for that. All the gold coming in. I think he actually may need to consider dropping a marketplace here. Looks like the TC... Oh, Louis, what? Yeah, he just realized a little bit late there, so lost another villager. Knights are going to start dealing the outpost, but this is expensive, like unless you heal, and there we go. Shinto is on the way. So you will better pat the head better. At this point, you just want to switch the Shinto and kill him off. That way, your opponent can't collect relics. Second one should be coming out already, right? Did we... Has it been that long? Maybe it's not been that long. Probably going to be a forge drop coming in. You could actually go for a mill, like a farmhouse drop would be smarter here for Wham. He needs food. And Shinto was shoved away. So, well played by Louis. Does get the kill as well. That is important because you want to try to be leaning towards these relics soon. Remember, that gold isn't going to last forever. He's already been exhausting it heavily. 2,300 removed. Scout is going to arrive. Wolves are going up from Louis, and oh my god, he's just going for a kill. We've got trebuchets coming out of the White Tower. This is actually crazy. Yeah, siege workshops have to be prepped. Wham is going to have to siege this down in response. The problem, though, is that attack speed aura. You are at a disadvantage when it comes to your ability to break this. The Treb should break you first from the English. This is such a crazy game. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised Louis never went for that one knight. I think, like, looking at the map here, it would have made a lot of sense. He even scouted where the units were. Wall is going to be going up just in the nick of time here. Mad Samurai could potentially stab at the main base, because remember, yes, your opponent has forward economy, but he's been producing more economy at home. That's something you can exploit in this game. And we're already seeing Louis shuffling out to the east side. This is pretty smart. He's spreading and divesting his risk, right? Yes, one gold might get shut down, but if the other's operational, the Treb count can still escalate. Villagers. Oh, wow. Wham. He was distracted right there. Yeah, I think he was chasing away the one longbow. Which, by the way, oh my god, that one longbow just got double kill. And he's still alive. This is crazy, man. This game is so budgeted on each side. Both of them equal in economy. Military count looks absurdly tiny here. What an incredible game this is actually stacking up to being. Just game 2 of the grand finals. And we also have the wall down the center, right? So Wham can't immediately backstab. He has to wrap, shuffle all the way around. Triple Treb should be taking down the mana soon. There's no way the town center can be kept up anymore. It's not worth it. It's really cost inefficient for Wham. The tricky part as well is, like, he's at risk of just being annihilated here, right? So he's going to have to dive it soon. White Tower repairs are coming in. It's still only one Treb. Wham does have the second on the way. The Mount Samurai are looking to dive here, but... Good guys, this doesn't work. Wait, he's got more coming. If the villagers just garrison inside... Did he just wall it? That is outrageous. The Spearman buys vital time there, but the Mount Samurai are now in. He needs to garrison. Can he kill these quick enough? Villagers repairing on the trebuchet. Oh my god! What is this game? Louis starting to lose villagers now, but the Mount Samurai have been whittled down. They haven't got enough firepower left here. The repairs! Louis comes in clutch. He beats him! Wham! Not able to clear the siege. TC down. Kura's storehouse not lasting much longer. And the villagers are back at repair. Wham has not got this. It's working against him right now. Kura's storehouse about to fall. One landmark about to remain. And the villagers, he's all in. Louis knows it is now or never. Triple Treb is good enough. Dive comes in again. The second wave for Mount Samurai to attempt this. Are they going to be good enough? He breaks the wall intentionally to get in. Villagers have to come in with repairs. Trebuchet switched over to Mounted Samurai. Can they do this? Villagers, tap those little hammers. 150 HP. He goes for the kill. He's going to end the game. Villagers heading in. The Trebs. They haven't been killed. Wham. The White Tower's down, but it's only one man Samurai. The repair crew keeps it alive. And the most vile of turnarounds here. Louis takes the second game! Tell me you only get epic games out of S-tier $20,000 tournaments. Tell me it right now in chat, and I will object firmly in the highest regards. Game 2, Louis refuses to back down. He refuses to surrender, and he strikes back in one of the craziest games I think we will ever see in the KPMM. And he does it on a traditional map. That is absolutely wild here. Oh my God. We had our doubts for a moment, but that might genuinely be. Like, we use this sometimes on YouTube and we clickbait it up, but dude, that has to be the game of the year. That will be a top 5 game for 2024 in my eyes. That was absurd. Oh my God. I think that might be the craziest White Tower play I've seen. I'm trying to think if there's more epic ones. We used to see it a lot on things like... say, on King of the Hill. But I think genuinely that might be the craziest White Tower game we've ever seen. The craziest White Tower game you'll ever see. What do I call it on the thumbnail, man? I don't know what to do. Just... I think actually on the thumbnail it just says intense micro battle, right? All right, there we go. Whew. Okay, guys. It's actually happening. Game number 3 is going to be Pigeons Valley. Holy crap. Oh, absolutely incredible. I never saw this one covered. With the Civs they have. Okay, this is actually wild, though, because Wham has a really good draft for like going to Pigeons Valley. It's his pick. We talked about this, right? The advantage of game 1. Louis got Ibids. I thought he'd go French. That was incredible. Imagine we had those games at Red Bull. I mean, this is the thing, right? This is why you pitched like the idea of having 4 players there. Like, you could get moments like this, and it would lead to the craziest things ever. But it's happening, guys. It's time. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever in competitive Age of Empires 4, it is my pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to Pigeons Valley. That's right, one and all, welcome back to the Age of Empires 4 action. We are here in the finals of the first ever midweek muster, which of course is officially hosted by my channel. 30 weeks of Age of Empires 4 action, and this grand finals, this first of 30 has already delivered. Game 2, an epic epilogue, a tale to tell across 2024. What could we be seeing with a brand new map? Louis MT of Team Elephant takes to the fields in the pink as the Ibids. Wham! The cousin Civ on the other side. It's a Middle Eastern battle in some lush green territories here as he whips out the Abbasids in the blue. So, Pigeons Valley, a new map to introduce, a new map to talk about, because people have already yabbered on about this for the 2v2 tournament coming at the end of the year, but Pigeons Valley functions very differently in 1v1s, folks. In 2v2s, you spawn on the outskirt islands. In 1v1s, you are center-bound here, hunkered down on an island, protected by bridges that can be used against you or for you. A fat woodline ahead of you to protect you against a rush down the center, and fat stone outcroppings to prevent you from sneaking around what this map was designed to be. Now, guys, you can gather from this. Beastie tried to flash it on stream that you can, but I don't think you'll be engaging in that strategy in any competitive matches. It's 2,400 stone, taking an insanely long time. But man, we need a mental reset after that second game. That one most definitely is going up the channel. And guys, if you're watching this after you're done with this one later on, go watch that after the finals are finished, because your mind will be blown. And yes, to confirm for people, Core, you can confirm Tune, but I think the cutoff point may have already passed. He can confirm for you. We did say about this, signups are available 3 weeks in advance maximum. And what I mean by that is that we put KPM 1, 2, 3, and 4 available to sign up to. So I have been imploring players throughout the week, reminding them you need to go and sign up for these ahead of time so that we can get the rosters locked, because we are starting number 2 tomorrow. There you go. Tume's already said 5 and 6 is coming tomorrow. So reminder to pros in chat, if you watch this later, whatever, every time check Start GG. There should be between 3 and 4 of the midweek musters available at any given time for you to sign up to. You want to sign up to all of them, otherwise you might miss out. So, Wham coming in with the Eco Wing here. No, wow. Oh, gee, I've never seen this before. What an innovative and... okay, I'm trying not to be salty, but this landmark has just gotten absurd, folks. Let's be totally real. The Eco Wing is just too good. The Fertile Crescent, incredible. And we are in a map that can be seen as a bit of a macro map, right? Like, there is potential to starve your opponent on the home island. The crazy thing is, some civs kind of contradict the concept of starvation on this map, and Abbasses are one of them because they starve their people already, right? Fresh food stuffs means you don't need much food to scale into TCs. On top of that, you can get to farms so efficiently with the Fertile Crescent play. So, to a certain degree, Wham could exist on this island for quite a while. Obviously, gold will eventually become an impactful factor, though. So what's the Ibid plan here? I imagine we've got Growth Wing. Yeah. So Louis MT is probably going for a fast castle play. One thing to note about the way this map spawns, you'll never have a relic on your starting island. So you always have to play out onto the map. And once you have that kind of advantage, you can fight back a bit. One thing that is scary is I don't think you can let Wham just boom for free. So I wouldn't be surprised if Louis tries something like a wall-in the mid-game, just to trap him on here, right? Like, you can build docks, build a bow, cover this. And another reminder, folks, these do die. They only got 500 HP, so you can actually kill them. Abba seems much better on this map. Yeah, I would agree, which is why I'm kind of curious as what Louis' plan was. Like, he did have French, right? And I think French probably would have handled this better from an eco-scaling point than Ibids. So when you pick Ibids, traditionally they are a timing civ. They have something specific in mind, and it's honed around a 8, 12, 14, 16-minute timing, right? So the strategy should start to paint itself. I think we're just going to be getting a standard fast castle build. I'm just not entirely sure that's enough to break Abbasids. Get those votes in, guys. Come on. I see predictions much lower than the last game. Everyone's stroking their chin, not sure what to expect here. Another thing about this map, by the way, this was perceived, or conceived rather, different things. Yeah, looking and conceiving are very different things, guys. Be mindful of that. Different roles to play in the bedroom. Because this map was originally conceived with the idea of, I didn't like that Hidden Valley sucked. And I thought, what could we do to change Hidden Valley? And I wanted to have bridges that went over the top of the valley, but that wasn't possible because of limitations. You can only place bridges on rivers, right? And rivers can only be made by a start and end point at the edges of the map. These are limitations on the map configuration tools. So this was kind of like a hybridized idea to evolve it. You basically have these central passes. So if you imagine, you can now see it when I describe it that way, like Hidden Valley would have had this situation where you have to go right or left. The idea with this map was to kind of evolve that concept and give options. So you come out, and it's almost like you're doing an RPG adventure. You're making yes/no choices on the way, right? You come down here, and you can go either right or straight. And you come down here and go across, right? So the whole idea of this is it stops these awkward situations where someone commits down one side, and you just have to either react, or you have an advantage in movement speed and just dive the other side. If a player was sponsored by Monster Energy Drink, would they allow them to compete in a Red Bull tournament? I mean, I'm pretty sure an energy drink company sponsors General Mates, so that should answer your question. That's always been a weird element within esports that I'm kind of flabbergasted by, is obviously teams need to make revenue, but teams can actually have contradictive sponsors to what a tournament has. And I'm surprised that is actually allowed. But I think traditional sports already set that in motion, if I'm not mistaken. And we do have the wall coming up because it looks like there has been a dot commitment from Wham. Oh, wow. And yeah, he's worried about a rush. Understandably so. So walls are going to be up on the east side. Oh, nice blocker, though. So Louis, this is a bit of a panic. The archer ship is already coming. And he needs to block this play because, look, the deer, the berries, they're all in range. I mean, he needs his own dock, surely. He's shuffling to the west side. In theory, he could do similar here on the berries. The problem is the deer is on the south side for Wham. So his spawn was split. Like, this is like double-edged swords, right? Have both your food together can be good. But in this situation, it could prove catastrophic. And yes, you can blockade someone in their base with ships. There is a playback where you can essentially set up a dock here. It should be very difficult to starve someone on the island fully. And even if you did, they can eventually chop their way out. We're probably going to look to rebalance this map because with the changes to siege, the ability to fight back sea with land siege is a bit different now. And we do have the dot play coming from Louis. Second TC is already up in the tree line. Wham is pretty content here. He hasn't even exhausted 1,000 gold, so I'm a little bit confused as to what Louis' goal is with this dock fully. He can keep him from the west side, sure. That's about it. Camelot is now on the way. Oh, Timmy, you got left behind. Oh, buddy. Oh, pal. He's going to try to build the gate again. Wait, what? What just happened? I'm so confused right now. I don't think that was intentional. Did he just one-hit the scaffolding there? Oh, my God. He cancelled the wrong segment. Well, luckily for Louis, he had the horseman coming. That was enough to scare Wham away. Tech up is on the way, by the way, and he did go for the logistics wing. So this is quite funny, guys, in the core concept of this game because of his opponent. Wham and Puppy Paw have been using the Dervish logistics wing more than any other player in 2024. So Louis is about to give a taste of the own medicine here. However, it's going to be very difficult to sneak out. Because one sucky thing about what Wham has done to him, look at the spawn. And just process where all the relics are. All the relics are on the south side. The archer ship will see you coming. It might even be capable of killing a dervish. So he's going to have to go all the way around. And we have an outpost rush. Wait, really? This was all about the transport ship. Unfortunately, there's a cavalry archer there. And a dot coming in. Oh, man. I feel like Louis is almost looking for cheesy resolutions to his problem here. And now, after all is said and done, he's just going to have to fall back to the good old TC boom. So dervishes are on the way. Remember, there's only one relic here, one sacred site. You're going to have to shuffle around. And also, you're probably going to want to capture the sacred sites to be efficient about your gold intake. But doing so will reveal what you're doing. In fact, the scout might do that anyway. Wow, now on the way up as well, military wing, and I really need to emphasize this to people. Camel Riders counter everything good the Ibers do in Castle Age. Right? You're not going to really do Golems against your Abbasid cousin. They can do that unit. You can do a similar unit comp better, right? So you want to go into Lancers, Desert Raiders, these unique units. Camel Riders will dunk on them pretty hard, guys. So this is going to force an awkward transition. Louis is probably going to have to hunker down. He's already stockpiling resources. Could we be seeing a fast Imperial with Desert Raider? I think we might. Oh, looks like Louis was able to sneak back into the center of the map. He does get a dock down here. Dervishes are pulling the relics. So, I mean, credit to him. He's making this work. Keep in mind as well, after he returns the first relic, he can run across the bridge now because the boat's coming back. This game isn't over yet, folks. This is wild. I mean, I thought he was going to DC, but it looks like Louis maybe just gave up on that idea. And I think we are indeed getting a fast Imperial Iber build in 1v1. We've seen these builds and how good they are in team games. In 1v1s, they should be obnoxiously hard to pull off. Meanwhile, we do have demo ships coming up. It's a little bit of exchange on the west side. Remember, you don't want to be stuck on your home island here. This is crazy. And I'm adamant that it has to be reinforcement wing, right? I don't think you go for the Bazaar. In theory, it can work here, but you'll just get a lot more value out of the Desert Raiders. This is crazy. You know what I said about like Camel Riders should win? Camel Archers should win? This is the exception to the rule. Desert Raiders scale really well when you get veterancy into Imperial Tech. He hasn't got the first layer yet, but I think he's going to tick that in as soon as he begins the tech up. Because remember, the tech up takes 2 minutes. Upgrade only takes 1 minute. So this is the efficient route to do this. Here we go. You know, the crazy thing is, this wing was done when this Civ first came out, because people weren't sure what to do in Imperial Age. They didn't rate it early on. And it didn't really look that great, because I don't think people really figured out how to truly utilize Desert Raiders yet. But now it's returned to the fold, and it has been looking damn strong every time I've seen it. So we've got a third TC coming in, so Wham is extending. He's not too far off going for an in-play himself here. Walls are up, though, and it is boats at the end of the day, right? So we're very close to the stranglehold here. He needs to get a dock up, and he needs to be faster than this. I don't think he's using the appropriate urgency here. The archer ship's going to buy a little bit of time, but this is very risky. Wham could have been diving across here. Does he have man the sails? He does. He's not using it yet. Dock isn't up just yet. Walls were coming in. I think that was just at home to let him know it's on the way. The dock, though, Wham's not reacting right now. And the Dervish is yoinking the other relic. So we've got 5 relics to compensate. And it looks like Wham is going to archers. Against Desert Raiders makes a lot of sense, right? Demo ships are now on the way. Backler not quite injured enough to just insta-die. And Camel Archers are going to deny the 5th relic here. So it's only 4 for Louis. That's still a very strong position to find himself in. And Wham's like, if you're going to deliver it to me, don't mind if I do. Yeah, there's your confirmation. So it is going to be almost exactly on 14 minutes Imperial Age. I mean, he could go for the big ships, but Zebex don't just win you the game by default, folks, remember. Demo ships do still counter that play. So you need to be a little bit careful about this. Credit to him on this side, though. I think Louis maybe just got away with a little bit too much on the west side. I thought we'd be seeing more pressure from a few Camel Archers here from Wham. Maybe he just kind of got unreliably comfortable with the idea of late game because he is playing Abbasids. I can understand that. But that's where this Desert Raider play could be his undoing. There it is. Zebex are on the way. Ah, this is wild. Reminder, with the nerfs to Springles, they aren't a good counter to this. Warships are actually a bit of an oversight when it comes to Season 9's balance point, because now Springles are down to 8 tower range, while Zebex have more, right? And on top of that, there is no shutter trigger range increase anymore. It now gives attack speed and range resistance. So this Zebek outranges Springles. This is genius. And I think he's got them coming on both sides. So if he backs this up with just 1 or 2 archer ships, the demo ship play isn't going to work to counter this. It's a very heavy investment, remember, 600 resources each. Archer ships have not been prepped behind this, but we do have the Golden Desert Raiders. Elite Desert Raiders are in. Even their bow damage can compete. Bad start here, Wham. He finds out the hard way what's happening. The wall-up's not working. There's still a gap. He can't complete that. And the dock is just a waste of time anyway. Zebek should be able to take that down before anything comes out. He snipes the villager straight away. And he is pushing on both sides. Louis MT strong arming with the water mechanisms here. Wolves are not going to hold this back long. Remember, this is the siege ship. It's designed to deal with these wall shenanigans. Things that usually stop Springwood ships will not stop these bad boys. Knock, knock. Whether you like it or not, we are coming in. Wham, he's going for a gamble here. Because if that's... he might have a chance here. The Zebek isn't coming out on the west side yet. If a second one comes out, this could ruin him. The best thing Louis could do right now, guys, is delete this. He needs to destroy his own bridge to stop a raid. Desert Raiders on land, though, already making a hit. Wall's not going to work. He griefs him with a palisade. More villagers lost for Wham. And one Desert Raider will definitely hunt them down. In the meantime, the push comes in on the west side, but the Desert Raider's in position to react to this. And with Micro, with shuffling, he could easily hold this back. We don't have another Zebek yet. Louis would benefit from a quick wall right here. He actually needs a quick wall. This is going to be expensive otherwise. Or hear me out. This works too. And it is a lot quicker. This timing, though, he's queued up too. Wham. He's going across. The demo's coming in! Not quite quick enough there. Bridge is still up. Desert Raiders have to pull back. Second one is going to delete this, though. So there will be no path of access here for Wham. What he's got in is all he's getting in here. And the Desert Raiders, they may just be a little bit too good here. Maybe not enough range units to defend against this. The dive's going to come in. The TC is going to be there to assist. And there's a demo waiting for a second wave. I can't believe that. A bit of a misclick there. I think Louis could have got closer with the demo and done more damage. Also a little bit slow. Village is now being pulled back, though. Pressure's coming in both ways. It looks like we have got the static defenses to try and hold this back. The Sprinkled Towers. TC is going to be garrisoned, but Louis losing several villages as he gets back in. Desert Raiders sniping this down. There's not much of an army left in the base here, so Louis has taken some eco hits. Nothing he can't recover from, but the Zebex aren't moving right now. Desert Raiders' heart, however, diving, and he's finding the farms! What is happening in this game? I think what might be happening is Louis might be taking the lead. Clean up of the main army here. Wham has a second wave, but no easy access point anymore. The one sneak in only works once. On top of that, he's very close to the shorelines here for Zebex. Now, the upside is he forced the Zebek home because, remember, the Springwood emplacements, really smart read by Wham, have the same range as Zebex. And yes, it takes 2 demos to take down a bridge, but the bigger goal there, the bigger play, is you detonate on the enemy army. Desert Raiders starting back. Needs to be careful, actually, because I'm pretty sure you can kill your own... Like, Zebex can hit the bridge, guys, I'm pretty sure. Because it's siege damage. Siege damage is how you kill these. So it is possible that, like, what Wham could have done is ran onto the bridge, the Zebek could have attacked there, and then Louis could have lost, like, 7 Desert Raiders. What are you doing? Get moving. We got work to do. We got a Louis MT win to claim here. Man, it's so frustrating, right? Because Louis has quick access while Wham has to go all the way around. I think only AoE damage and attack rounds can damage it. I'd have to confirm, but like Zebex, I think that's a very, very small splash, if I'm not mistaken. I have seen them hit these before. It's weird. I'd have to do some thorough tests, but I've seen a Bombard hit it before. I've seen Mangoes accidentally hit it before. Like, if you have a Mango sitting here, it can accidentally hit the bridge because of the hitbox size. So, it's a bit of a clunky mechanism. I don't know if it's been fully explored yet. Like, for example, this Mango, if he was sitting on the bridge firing, some of the shots could actually hit the bridge if he's, like, here, instead of hitting something here. I've seen it before. The outcome was comedian. Not for the player doing it to himself, but looks like it's going to be stuck on an island for Wham. He doesn't have his... Can that be reached? I think he's just out of range of Zebex hitting it, but it could be a Treb follow-up from Louis. Demo's not going to be able to hit. Denial coming in on the north side as well. Only one Springwood emplacement here, folks. Zebek is going to begin firing. He hasn't started to pump any demos either. Desert Raiders are keeping busy on land. I can't believe this. A TC is going to be built up here. So Louis, once again, with a static defense to help him. And Desert Raiders behind to annoy this. This is absolutely wild. I mean, Wham has a lot of food income, but like he has the cannon fodder, right? So a lot of food income, great, but also a lot of losses. And keep in mind, for Louis, you're having to add in, like, what? I always get the number wrong. Is it 630 extra resources per minute? Because remember, he's getting 7 Desert Raiders for free every 2 minutes. I mean, maybe if Wham could... Wham used to be a master of wood wall, guys. If we can just double wood wall, we can forget about the Zebex. It would require about an hour in this game, though. Louis moving in. He's going to clean up the army. This is ridiculous. +3 ranged armor just proving very impactful against a unit that's meant to theoretically cancel you out, but with 175 HP, it doesn't feel like it. Gets clubbed down by the ridiculously powerful 19 melee damage here. And Louis... ready to go on the offensive again. West side, we have got more siege being built up by Wham. Louis is trying to contest the gold. One limitation for him is long-term gold access here, guys. But even without that, he has got relics, he has got sacred sites. A little bit surprised we haven't got a second raid down here, but with that army being wiped out, this is the crafty thing that Louis is doing. He's dividing his Desert Raiders into 2 groups and attacking wherever Wham's main army isn't. Keep in mind, Desert Raiders also kill Rams really quickly. As do Zebex. He's got a cannon placement coming. Villagers. Whoa, a little bit of a misclick there. Get some repairs in. Enough, though. You need to get out of here. Wow. These cannon placements are going to shred him. A little bit of a misclick there, shuffling away to build the Rams, but he's still in range. He'll definitely be in range of the cannon emplacement. Meanwhile, Desert Raiders have hit up the farms again. They've forced a full migration back to the mainlands. And the cannon placements are now in. Desert Raiders just slapping down the forces building the Rams. He's actively stopping him from countering this outpost play. Oh my god. Is this really happening? Like, this is my dream come true. The first finals ever, and we are getting back-to-back games that are going to remain memorable. Like, these are going to be top games of 2024 entirely. This is crazy. Culture Wing now on the way, so Wham is trying to play catch-up. Likely going to be seeing him go into what hand cannoneers here. Bit tricky without long-term access to gold, though. He also doesn't have the ability to trade. That's something Louis could start contemplating soon, right? He could actually set up a route from here all the way across to this trade post, or vice versa. Louis just 34 these Desert Raiders. The other thing is this whole strongman economy of Abbasis starts to matter less when you start to reach peak, right? Which he's at. He's close to 200 pops. He's not going beyond 120. Louis is now catching up on the economy. And what will matter in the end is this passive income. Now, admittedly, Abbasid Eco is still better, but the units ain't looking at him. What is up, Wakar? Thank you very much for the sub, mate. Everyone should be subbing right now to get their moment in this video, to be stamped on one of the best matches I think you're going to see for 2024. Now, admittedly, people were worried about this being a macro map, but the way it's played out to be a macro map has been pretty incredible. 3 Sacred Sites locked in. Army is going to have to do something about that, so he moves in. Good timing as well. The cannon emplacements haven't been built yet. However, the Desert Raider reaction force is in, and this is the power of the center of the map, the pivot dynamics here. So many camels. Now, Spears are meant to counter this, but good luck touching them. And it gets worse, folks. The moment these Spears are dead, you just go melee mode. Because then you shred this quicker. In fact, he's already got a second wave coming in. Louis MT is going to annihilate this main army. We've got a pushback attempt on the west side. Zebex are still dealing with the Rams. Villagers are finally going to have to migrate the area, but the cannon emplacements still getting good value. A bit of a misclick there from Louis. However, an overwhelming force now marching on the south side. Keep in mind, the bridge was destroyed, so Louis would have to fix that or bring a transport ship up. But triple Zebek here gives him the perfect beachhead to land on. Talk about this in Outback Octagon. I don't know how to count this army if Louis adds spears for camera support. Yeah, I think Desert Raiders are kind of absurd. So, guys, what Crackley's referring to there is if you get a spearman near these guys, you get any infantry unit near these guys, they get +3 armor of each type. That gives them 6 ranged armor overall. That gives them up to a potential 13 melee armor on 175 HP, fast-moving unit. It's crazy how good they are. And as you can see, we also now have Biology in, which gives you 227. Things like the Incendiaries. I think too many things scale with Desert Raiders. I love the idea of hybridized troops, but the problem with Desert Raiders is when you have a hybridized troop, it should be a jack of all trades, a master of none. This feels like a master of multiple departments now. And it gets worse still, right? It's not happening anytime soon because it's only at 39 structures, but if he ever gets to 75, these things attack 20% faster, and the repair just came in. He's storming the beaches. Wham! He may just get burnt out, literally and figuratively in this one. House of Wisdom does have 17,000 HP. He does have the fire armor, yes, but it could be easily killable here. Wham's army needs to pull home. You see, he's now going to have to forfeit the west side, which is where all of his farms are. More villagers going down, and all of a sudden, a game where Louis is about to take the eco lead. Absolutely incredible. Tree line is still working. That could be sniped. For the time being, though, he goes after the town center. Now, even though there is that fire armor, remember, we were in Imperial Age, so you do 21 damage. This is only mitigating about 25% of your DPS. Army is going to react now. Wham does have hand cannoneers coming, but in small numbers, that's not going to do anything here. Love this as well. Louis brings up the Dervish. That is now giving an AoE heal to all of his troops. And still playing pocket economies as well. We don't really have many farms. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Louis, he's so good at this. Guys, would you like to guess how many farms Louis has at almost 30 minutes into the game? Take a guess. He'd done this with the English on Atoll. He's one of the best players at playing without farms. He does this so well. He leverages it into a stronger push. Desert Raiders now forcing the last stand here for Wham. Everything being reached, keep drops coming in, and this just has to be the conclusion point. I don't think Wham has got anything left in the chamber anymore. Even chemistry on the way, because a little bit of an oversight, and I think it might need to be fixed, but these warships benefit from the chemistry. If you don't believe me, watch it. Doink. Oh, wait. Did they fix it? Is it bonus damage? No, I'm pretty sure chem fix actually works on them still. Someone was saying this about Carracks, unless it's specific. It's meant to. I mean, even without it, though. Like, what is there left of Wham anymore? It's been picked apart. A few hand cannoneers coming in. Okay, yeah, it's the building damage. Thank you. Yeah, it gets scaled up. I think it's 66 and then it goes to 88, right? So that, like, I don't think that was a slight oversight, though. That wasn't intended. Demo ships are coming out to counter on the west side here. Question now is it too late for Wham? Because the big problem he now has is he needs to go hand cannoneers, and he has no gold. I think Wham's just processing the loss. Now, admittedly, Louis will take the lead. However, Wham does have a strike back opportunity. I think he still has a really solid drop, but he's going to have to show it because Louis now takes the lead in the best of 7 finals with game number 3. Zebex and Desert Raiders. Do not tell me the Ibers are incapable of playing the late game. Man, crazy game. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below. Let me know what you think the nerfs should be, because I have a feeling that Desert Raiders might need some tweaking back the other way. I'll see you all in the next video. Good God. What a game. Well played to Louis. And next up, we've got Jaune versus Roos. This is a Louis special. Man, I really need to get someone in to like title these YouTube videos, thumbnails and whatnot, because I'm not even sure where to begin with that one. I don't want to rush it at the moment. But anyway, I think we have to rush into the next one anyway, because I think they are already in game. No? Okay, they're in lobby, so we got a sec. Oh, absolutely incredible. What do I even call that one? That was incredible. New map delivers an insane game on its first appearance. I don't know what to do with that one, man. I need to get someone to help with the YouTube stuff. Like, my brain's like, where to begin with that one? I'm not sure what I'd put on the thumbnail, but wow, absolutely incredible. So, they are loading in now. They're just sitting in lobby. I think they just started to load the game, so we've got about 2 minutes until we're in. Guys, if you haven't followed, subscribed, or whatever, get to it, mate. You want to, because, reminder to folks, this is just the first of 29 more weeks of this type of entertainment to come, right? I just hope it's up and up. I don't know how you get much more up than this. This is fantastic already. But another reminder to people to also share around this to a lot of people. Like, you know, we have thousands and thousands of people playing Age of Empires 4 that likely don't even know this is happening. So if you've got friend groups or whatever, let them know. Cool. Isn't AoE4 already dead in 30 weeks? Not if I have anything to say about it, cool. We are here to save Age of Empires 4. There you go. We take the mantle. The type of circuit it needs. And it looks like they are going to be playing on Gorge. Got you. Sorry, I'm just getting spammed about something. Maybe we also get good maps at one point. I'm sorry. Are you trying to say we don't have good maps here, Core? I think Pigeon Valley just like actually delivered a banger. You don't like Atoll? I think Atoll's sick. What do you mean the default maps? Like, everyone keeps saying that we need to use more default maps in these tournaments. I disagree. It's just the devs need to actually add the custom maps. Pigeon Valley is good. I agree. Like, I think people... So here's the thing. No, Atoll is... So cool. Atoll is good situationally. Atoll as a starter map, a default map, is a bit weird. Later on the draft, I'm fine with. Which is why it's remaining for week 2. But Pigeons Valley didn't even get a chance. Right? Like, I had this argued against me, like, you know, Empire Wars didn't even get a chance, no data was collected, and that's data in itself. Okay, but here's an example of where people could be wrong. No one practiced Pigeons Valley, and that delivered an incredible game, right? Atoll is made out of an AoE4 bug. I mean, dude, Dota 2 stacking in camps is a bug. It was unintended behavior. You can, like, you do realize that GTA was created from a bug. Bugs can create some of the best things you will ever see in gaming. I'm not, look it up. GTA was legit a bug. It was completely unintended. I hate this shit comparison. Are you playing Dota 2 or AoE4? I just gave you other example. Dude, gaming. Take it from someone who literally studied this shit, who actually done this shit as a career. Like, bugs can become good features. Facts. You're nitpicking. Dota versus AoE4. I mean, if you really want to nitpick on that, let's look at which one actually is, like, doing phenomenally well, peaking new records constantly, right? Like, I don't get this, man. You can turn bad things into good things. You can't take criticism? Court, please. All right, your arguments are getting dented. I'm focused on the games. I don't need this negativity. If you think that you can't turn, like, a mistake into something good, then, quite frankly, your life must be a depressing mess of, like, just actually moving on from things the moment something goes wrong. Like, if that's the way you think, then after you make one mistake by missing villager production for 2 seconds, you must GG. All right. Positivity now. Let's get ready to go. All right, guys, it's happening. Game number 4. Just before we get a redraft of the Civ options here, we're going to be hopping into Gorge. Wham! With the Rus and Louis MT. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, baby. We've got a signature Civ from the master himself. Honestly, I think Louis is still the most jaw-dropping, incredible to watch Jeune d'Arc player. Him and his teammates CSO have been phenomenal on this particular Civ. So curious to see what we're going to get in a game 4 where if he wins this, folks, he will be on match point, on the verge of winning the first ever KillerPigeon's midweek muster. And what a way to do it. Game 2, game 3, right? The story this is weaving already. I mean, Louis MT as well. I don't think you'll mind me saying, Louis struggled in the second half of 2024. If I'm being totally real, Louis has not looked himself. This is the guy that I hyped up to be the standout player 2024, end of 2023. He delivered at the beginning, and then things looked a bit shaky. I don't know what happened, whether there wasn't enough practice, the meta didn't really mesh with him, but he didn't look like the champ that we knew, the guy who was going to break the podium. Instead, it was the Canadians. But now, as we get into the later part, Season 9 arrives, changes have been made, all of a sudden, we're seeing a new breath of life for the kid again. He's in medical school too. I actually don't know. I'm not sure what Louis does for a living. I've never asked him. But if he's actually in medical school and he's doing this well, that's impressive. Okay, you know, like what is the other person we have in medical school in Age of Empires 4? We love Tim, but Tim will only play Rus, right? And Tim's not winning any tournaments. I hope he doesn't mind me saying. If this guy is also in medical school, but on the verge of winning tournaments and beating podium finish level players, that's jaw-dropping. So, Rus versus Jeune. We are going to have a castle rush and a I don't want to come out approach. Yeah, you can see it by the fact he's going Golden Gate. Guys, this has been one of the really big changes, actually, between the adaptation now that Rus don't get bounty from killing deer. They get a longer-term value of extending gold. And also the Kremlin nerfs over time have led people to return to fast castle horse archer builds. Quite an intriguing choice actually up against Jeune as well, because Jeune can struggle against horse archers herself because she gets sniped easily. And also it's a unit that can stay out of range to no XP given. Even knights can actually struggle. I wonder if we're eventually going to get Rus players in this matchup return to the old school scout build. Do you guys remember that? So it'd be, you'd frontline scouts with horse archers behind. So you'd have like 8 to 10 scouts at any given time, because they're just fantastic meat shields. I think it's even good against Jeune because Jeune doesn't get much XP, right? She only gets 7 per kill. And it's still a unit that you can micro away. Food income's bad now? I don't think food income's that bad. I do think the food income from Season 9 needs to be adapted still. The intent was clearly there to nerf farms, and they actually didn't. They actually buffed civs that have eco-specific elements, right? So I think the next step with actually, like, fixing that is give the ecotechs back their 5% and directly nerf farm gathering rates. Because Roost is an example that's still like pretty good as you scale into the game with the bounty, right? Like Abassus is absurd, yes, because you have the 15% from the unique ecotech and the 15% from the Golden Age. That's insane. English farms, they still get their influence, right? Byzantines, they aren't impacted really by the farm changes at all compared to every other civ. Still getting their 20%, still getting their system buff. Like, arguably, the system got buffed by the change to these eco-wing techs. So, Tech Up's coming in, and Louis is going to be playing 2TC. I like this. This is really cool. I've seen this a few times where I think it was actually CSO done it really well. You can play 2TC into Knight aggression. So you drop your second TC on, say, Deer or Gold, and then you just keep funneling Knights towards the enemy base. If I'm not mistaken, CSO done that exact strategy on this map up against Dumu when Dumu was playing 2TC Fast Castle English. That series will definitely be on the channel. Definitely worth checking that one out. But the difference there, right, was his opponent went 2TC. Wham isn't making that mistake. He is accelerating fast towards H3. And it's known exactly what's happening here. So yeah, Jeune in range form is going to arrive. No surprise there. Louis pretty much the guy who I want to say single-handedly innovated the Jeune builds. When everyone was still doing melee build, he opened everyone's eyes. Even before the movement speed buff, he was doing range Jeune when everyone else thought it was a worthless meme. And he proved how valuable this is later on in the game. It's also super effective against fast-casting civs, right? That was something a lot of players locked onto, but we were seeing Louis go range form even when it wasn't against an FC civ. I've got Winter Fortress up, but looks like already a villager kill. A little bit shocked by that. Louis gets a freebie. Does take some damage in the night, but we do now have Jean on our way. Even if he gets pushed off the gold, what matters more is does he have sheep? And wham, he still has 14 sheep here. I like what Wham's done with this, by the way. He's put the scout in the way. It can be a bit dangerous, though, because a high-level player will use that to charge earlier and then switch. And we do now have Jean arriving, so this might get a little bit more annoying. Remember, you only need 2 hits, and then you can snipe a villager. That's what you get with the Divine Arrow attacks there. Now, the question is it going to be High Trade House or Abbey of Trinity? I think High Trade House just seems more likely because he doesn't have great gold access here. And Abbey of Trinity, even though they buffed it recently, just still doesn't feel that substantial. The unique buff techs used to be good for certain builds like Horse Archer spam. But for the current meta, where you play Knights, you play Nostreltsy later on, it doesn't feel as good. And that is about as safe as it gets in this 4th game. Wow, but the High Trade House placed as if he's playing Arkan Chapel HRE. All right, get your numbers in, folks. How much is he getting off of this? We've already got him generating almost 50 gold from the hunting cabins, by the way. Was it Wham that done the mass hunting cabin strategy on Kotra? Or was that Puppy Paw? I think it was Puppy Paw, right? Marlian versus Roos. And Louis, I believe, was able to beat that. So, kind of a similar strategy here. The no gold gathering necessary. I mean, it can't be necessary anymore. TC drop coming on the back. So Louis has gone that 2TC build we talked about. Night count isn't exactly crazy yet. Wow. He did get the stone necessary for the arrow slits and placements. And yes, a while ago they fixed it so that hunting cabins do not get impacted by High Trade House now. So it's going to be 162 gold by the looks of it. Pretty good. And remember, he's still going to scale that further based on the bounty gathering. Reminder that the bounty system was nerfed, but it also wasn't. So its early game was nerfed. But as you go later, what you'll find is the new bounty system is actually a buff. Quick balls coming up from Louis on the flank just to make sure he doesn't have to deal with a wraparound from Horse Archers. And it has to be Horse Archers, right? Like, if you can't go for Knights here because it's not a cost-efficient way of getting out of the base. It also risks just feeding a battle, whereas with Horse Archers, you can just kite away from Knights indefinitely. Remember, the big thing that Wham has access to here is wood. This build is about to become really obnoxious again because walls take much longer to build up now, so Horse Archers kind of got inadvertently buffed. You can't just basically build the entire map with walls. On top of that, on a map like Gorge, the resource you do have incredible amounts of is wood. There you go, 163 gold. So Louis not crazily ahead on Nico right now, only a 4 villager lead. So you really want to try to extract 2 or 3 more worker kills to feel confident about your position here. We do have warrior monks already on the way, but that makes sense. Like, Louis doesn't have that many knights. The horse archers can already start poking. Keep in mind, Joan does not want to be anywhere near this. This is why Louis has ran it all the way home. It's better to just get the passive XP than to run her around near the base and just get sniped. Because with 0 ranged armor and being outgunned like this, you'll just die. What will happen is you'll basically use your knights to try and protect Joan, but your knights will die instead. And once your knights are dead, there is 0 threat to the Rus economy. So at least by keeping the heavy cavalry alive, what Louis is able to do is strangle the flanks so that Wham can't play out. And we do at least have some ego techs coming from Wham now to kind of catch up there. Already healthy ones in for Louis. He got his shaft mining, he got his lumber, but feels shafted by horticulture, as we should. Missed the first 3 games? Well, this is the reason why you should join the Discord, folks. These things get announced in there. They also get tweeted out, so follow me there. That's true. You made it just before this is about to get even crazier, because Louis could get a very clean opportunity to win this in game number 5. Because after this game, we're going to have a redraft. And I think Louis' draft was pretty intriguing the first time around. It had some interesting caveats. If he gets English again, Wham might be in for a big, painful experience. So Royal Institute now on the way. Louis only with 7 knights, but remember, because he has 2 TC, he's now starting to reach that point where it pays off. This is a bit dangerous, though. Does Wham suspect this? Doesn't know for sure. If he wastes time out here, okay. I don't think Wham knows where the TC is. Did he scout it earlier? I mean, even if he did, he doesn't want to dive it, right? There's no way you want to dive a TC with 5 horse archers. The problem is, had he done so, he would have delayed the tech indefinitely. So instead, Louis able to find that age up. A big deal here. Remember, this is going to give you additional ranged armor. In fact, 2 extra ranged armor. Because remember, by going for Castle Age, you are going to get the +1 armor. And then you can get another +2. So actually, it's free because he hasn't got the undermesh yet. That's important up against the horse archers. On top of that, we have to remember that the biology and royal bloodlines got buffed. So you can now get these guys up to 322 HP in the 3rd age. Very difficult for a horse archer to kill. After reductions, that would take you... How many hits is it? God, it's a lot. I know, that's great maths. I mean, it's going to take you about 40 hits, I think. I probably rounded up slightly there, but it is a lot. This is a good start, though. The knights haven't been upgraded yet, so good interception by Wham. He does now have the relics on the way home. 1 already banked, 2 more coming. And that is enough to offset this economy situation. Louis only 12 ahead right now. I wonder, is Wham going to go for a second TC? We do have the stone gathering, yeah. Okay, so Wham. He's got a good shot at getting us the distance here in this one. I wonder, does Wham maybe start switching crossbows with the mass archer rangers? It's tricky because you haven't walled the map. This is the thing. I think crossbows, in some ways, people think they've been buffed, but in other ways, they've been nerfed. And what I mean by that is it's much harder to wall the map. And crossbows really need that walling, right? Otherwise, Cav wins. Another one of these is going to get picked down. Knight's barely alive. With the current time scaling, we're probably looking at about another 6 minutes until Joan is level 3. Actually, maybe slightly less because she hasn't died, right? And she did get a few kills. I think she also was responsible for the boar kill. And what is up, ESO Empires? Thank you very much for the sub, mate. Welcome back to the Swarm. Did I say Wakara as well? I think I did. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate everyone who's been subbing. Keep those subs coming. Remember, guys, even if you're watching this later, go subscribe to the Twitch channel. Considering we've got 30 weeks of tournaments, you will get your worth in terms of ad-free viewing experiences. Yeah, so you're starting to see the weakness of Horse Archer spam, which is why Wham's switching now. Horse Archer spam works great up to a certain point, but once you force your opponent to commit outposts to all these locations, and walls as well, it's worthless. Looks like 1 Horse Archer will still prove to be a nuisance here. It looks like Lou was trying to get cheeky and sneak out. So High Trade House is still at 163, hasn't reached that final threshold, but it is going to be a 5 relic game with 2 TC. This gets scary. Thank you very much, Papillus. Welcome back to Swarm, bud. So, speaking of Swarms, the Horse Archer count is big. I don't think you want to throw them away diving here. It's probably better value for Wham. Unless he can scout a location that has like 10 excess villagers, it's probably better value to keep them alive and try to force a fight with Louis' Knights. The Knights did just get buffed up on their health, but you have a mini Raw Bloodlines with Boy's Fortitude, and you have a lot more effective firepower in these fights. However, you can't begin it like that. Wham. It's not the full power of his army here, and he did just run headfirst into the full might of Louis. We have got more outposts securing the area. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Louis was one of the biggest people suffering from the wall changes based on the Preseason 9 tournament we done and the early rounds actually here in this tournament. He was trying to full wall the maps. You remember there was a Frisian Marshes game, for example, that cost him dearly by attempting to do so. But if you can't wall the map, well, you know what they haven't nerfed is outposts. Flash coming in. What's that is enough to scare away Louis. He'll take these fights if Zhone is in range and not diveable, but instead he's baiting him back towards the outpost defense. And this one's really tough to call. Wham's got good map control, but Louis has accessed what he needs, right? The 8k is now very much secured. This is a bit more dangerous, but he has fortified one of the outposts, so it's a bit harder to get those eco kills. And remember, it's 2TC versus 2TC, but it's not, which is why Wham has built a third town center. Remember, the French town centers operate quicker, and also, with the use of the consecration, you get better bang for buck. You basically get fresh foodstuffs. You're like a mini Abbasid Civ. So pretty smart read by Wham to understand this and play free TC. It's going to be more expensive initially, but will pay off over time. In the meantime, 2 villagers are getting sniped, and also a find here on the north side, just as the TC starts to have too many villagers in the area. Textiles has now been queued up by Wham, but Louis now maintaining that 20 villager lead and looking to extend it as he sneaks past the long walls. You see the difference, right? Like, old patch, that wall would have been up. Such a trickier thing now to try and get those online. Will snipe another villager, still has the Knights alive to dive deeper, and is already prepping a second wave to try and contest the central walls. Damn, this is crazy. Wham is now having to lean back into Horse Archers because he needs them everywhere, right? He needs this efficient DPS tool. He can't just frontline Knights. This when he gets in range, you can bolt them down, but like I said, 322 HP, guys. Look at this, you do 14 damage, they have 6 armor, and 322 HP. It takes so long to kill a single Knight. Louis just has so many of those Knights coming. Farms also now getting set up by the Zhone player. Walls haven't been broke yet, so we'll have to shuffle back around. It looks like the villagers did come back out, but there is one Knight here, and well, this one Knight could actually kill 2 villagers. He just doesn't realize that Louis instead is going after the Monk. So it looks like the wall up. I hope it completes for Wham, because he seems to have forgotten a little bit there. Love this approach by Louis, though, right? He can't take a direct fight, so he's just setting fire to everything. He's just rebelling all over the place, right? This is kind of like guerrilla warfare type approach. Can't take the main army, so take it everywhere it's not. We do have Cantled Saddles as well, which amplifies your potency in these fights, right? The Cantled Saddles, remember, because it gives you 10 instead of 3 extra damage, that's an extra, from that tech, which is quite cheap actually in the Roaring Stew, an extra 21 damage in a fight per Knight. It's actually crazy how good Cantled Saddles is. And yeah, Louis stopped production because he's running out of food. He needs to make the uncomfortable farm transition. That's the difference between these two players, right? Is Wham went for a more cost-efficient food-wise unit. He also had things like the Golden Gate to help him. He also has the extra wood you gather to help you with the farm transition. So this is the uncomfortable phase. Louis has a very hard hold ahead of him. If he wants to take control of this game, he can't fall here. And we are getting close to level 3 for Zhone, so he needs to be careful not to get a snipe too early. Doesn't quite get there, though. Once again, denying what he really wants out of this. No level 3 JD. Too many villagers in the area. The dive comes through, but it is static defenses here. Or such as trying to hang around. They've only got the one undermesh. Level 2 just came in. It's a lot more tanky. And also, on the other side of this, no ranged upgrades from Louis. He doesn't have the extra damage in these outposts. Does reduce the front line, though. Knights have been reduced down to just 2 of them. There is still 15 in total, so a few in reserve here. But they're not involved in this fight right now. And Joan is back. Looks like that was a buyback there, so thinks he can farm a bit of XP. Does get on the edge, and there we go. Level 3 now in, and an immediate play into Joan's Riders. This unlocks the potential to scale this comp as well. So this is dangerous now for Wham. If he goes too hard into Horse Archers, Joan's Riders can counter that. If he goes into Crossbows instead, Joan's Riders will absolutely counter that. Remember, this unit does not get bonus damage against ranged. It specifically gets it against Crossbows, while also being an incredibly tanky unit against ranged units in general. Right? It's a Horseman with more HP. I wonder, is he actually going to actively pump them? There might come a point, because remember, a really cool change they made with Season 9. You don't need keeps anymore. You build them out of their respective buildings, so you could be pumping Joan's Riders out for 150 a pop from all these stables. And well, look at this. Wow, I thought he was actually going to go for the dive anyway. He'll pill a small group, he's thinking about it. Instead, he's reacting to what's happening from Louis. Behind this, Wham on his way to age 4. Tricky situation here. Just so much gold to work with when he gets there as well. The 5 relics, 183 gold, the sacred sites. Louis hasn't reached critical mass with knights. The tricky thing up against Horse Archer mass is you have to pin them. Right now, he's defensively reacting, which gives Wham all of the battlefield to retreat across. So you need to find a way of actually sticking it to his side of the map. Otherwise, he'll just keep falling back. And yes, Pascal is kind of funky here. I guess he's worried about being dove because it is mass knights, but at the same time, this isn't really protecting a great deal of things, just the food. It might be that Wham is going to stonewall this, though. Makes a lot of sense, because if both of these civs have to go mass cavalry, I would favor Louis. Right? Boy's Fortitude is really cool, but at the end of the day, how do you deal with French knights? It's not a pretty picture. Stonewalls. See, look at this. Wham trades in one game, and you think he's going to do it every game. They're neck and neck on economy after all this. Louis has to go for the age up, surely. He's trying to find pressure in the meantime, but it feels inevitable that this is going to be going to age 4. The good news about playing Institute is you get a lot of your age 4 value when you play Mass Knights anyway. Obviously, Elite Knights are still an upgrade, but you already have your University tech. And yeah, the other Roost Landmark did get downgraded. I can't remember what they changed the upgrade for Springles to, but it's Springle related, so it's kind of pointless. It is still good for the Bombards, because Bombards are anti-infantry, right? And you scale better with the High Armory. So it still has some potency. The problem is, remember, Bombard's good against infantry there, right? Your opponent is building only knights. Look at this. Beauties right here. The gold and red, I feel like I'm in the Roman Empire. The Equite are ready to play. One knight just cycling on the side. He's already got the poleaxe upgrades. That's a +4 damage output. Wow, I'm in a position where he could take this fight against Louis. I don't know if he's really worried about level 4 Joan anyway, right? More lethal melee form with this comp. Knights are going to be able to dive in, so a little bit out of time, but the Horse Archers hitting nobly harder now, up to 16 damage. Still takes a long time to kill, mind you. We do have a raid attempt at the outpost. What am I looking at in this game? Louis MT making up for the lack of walls. Is it going to be good enough, though? The torque damage coming from the Horse Archers are going to dive towards the farms here. Knights are now reacting. Villagers in trouble trying to protect each other, but the Knights should start killing here. Horse Archers diving past. They're going to actually require a chase. Knights will pursue them in the meantime. A mirrored move here to block the melee. So minimizes the damage done to economy. Cuts down the first wave of Knights. Although I do not know what the hell that click was. I do not want to know. What? They're not even attacking right now. And these poleaxes really do feel OP, right? It's 26 damage compared to 33. Now, of course, that's elite tech as well, but it's a big edge in these longer fights. And this is before biology, by the way. Keep in mind that's an option still on the table for Wham. He hasn't committed to it yet. I imagine we'll be getting that Unitech soon. In the meantime, there was a little bit of a night raid on the other side of the map, as it looks like Louis did creep in groups here, there, and everywhere. And we have Louis going trade. What? I mean, he is almost out of gold, right? So the timing makes sense, but Wham's attack point could be big here. It's only going to be wood walls for the time being from Louis. The keep drop needs to succeed, and that's why he's shifting the main army across now. I think Wham's fine for gold, though. Like, this is ludicrous. You wouldn't believe it with his comp, the fact he's imp. But this is the power, folks, of passive gold. From the hunting cabins, high trade house, sacred sites, and relics, it means he has so much extra gold to work with. Gorge is quite often decided by the relics. So the Knights are still going to be a nuisance here. Blocker to get the castle online. Streltsy are now arriving for Wham, though. He needs to choose his position well. It's a lot of troops to deal with. Louis MT also on his way up into Imperial finally. Red Palace coming in the center of the map. This is smart. He's setting up trade protection. He's got a keep here, another keep here. He needs another one on the west side. He's gathering the stone for it now. It's already coming up. This is a sick play. Louis has reduced the army. Wham! He was forced to pivot off of cavalry, so he doesn't have that mobility anymore. Which means that Louis MT is going to complete the Maginot Line. And yeah, congrats, firm handshakes. Louis has finally committed to a wall. It's still only palisades. Yeah, he actually still isn't even building stone walls. But in fairness, because Wham has now switched over to Streltsy, it doesn't matter, right? Because like before, if you were still on Mass Knights, Wham can play the flanks and you need stone walls. That's why Wham has built them. But because he's going into Streltsy, this isn't a comp that moves left and right in the map quickly. Louis MT, it feels like a lot of players would have been dead a few minutes ago in this one. Somehow still alive. Now with the upgrades on the way, Elite Tech just got queued up for the Knights. Remember, Jones Riders will upgrade on themselves. They don't need this. Looking very healthy there. Very feisty. Actually, I believe they changed this now, right? So that Jones Riders are attached. Well, it was always this way. It's attached to not the age, but the hero. So they won't cost you an upgrade, but they will get upgraded when she gets level 4. Tricky part about Jones Riders here, I said very good against crossbows. I actually think Jones Riders have an issue in the late game because they don't really do anything against Streltsy. Right? Horsemen would probably be better than Jones Riders at this point in the game. Obviously, he's not actively building them. He's only built the free ones, so it doesn't matter much here. But yeah, I think both of Jean's options in the late game are very super situational. Champions probably have better situations now, especially with the Spearman nerfs. But they usually come out when you have a tech advantage, right? Your opponent's in H2, you build a men-at-arms. It's great. With Riders, it's very situational. Like, you'd use it in a French mirror because you know they want to build Arbitrary, for example. Then again, like if your opponent's building Arbitrary, they've already lost the Night War, so you'd have map control. Maybe against Order the Dragon, because they typically build into crossbows. And Jones Riders don't really have a charge, no. They're standard damage. We have more palisades. He does know that he's not playing Roos, right? He can build stone walls. You'd think. Maybe eventually. Louis, already up to 14 traders. And he has got the guild merchants, right? So, no merchants guild. A little bit surprised by that. Remember, this is very cheap out of the Royal Institute. And usually by the time you have like 15 traders, it's definitely worth having. I think the issue for Louis is he just has so many upgrades still to get with the Imperial play. More palisades. Help. Why are we so obsessed with the teensy tiny walls? Knights are going to dive in. He needs to hold this soon. If the Streltsy reach the trade, it's all over. Curtains closed. Game shuttered. Wow, up to 34 Streltsy. It's hard to see how he doesn't. I mean, Louis, in theory, mangoes at this stage, right? Pretty good with the upgrades. Don't think he's got the time for that, though. Dive now coming on the trade. In the meantime, he's doing the same thing with small groups of knights, raiding into the economy. In fact, not just small groups, he's sending the full army. Oh, no, Louis. Did this work before? Because Wham had to react to mass cap, but Wham is in position this time. Knights, they dive onto the TC. Streltsy just culling the trade force. Killing the newly produced Knights as well. Now, the good news, at least for Louis, is this isn't an easy landmark snipe. Remember, he has got a Red Palace, but it is a beginning here. This TC, even the Arbalest in placement, not good enough. Louis MT about to lose his primary town center. He's at least still raiding on the flank, sure, but artificial damage against a free TC Roos. In some ways, you're just helping him, opening the field for more armaments. As the military can bloat up to 80 now for Wham. Backstab comes in. Nice hold of the choke point. He needs to get around the back here onto the Streltsy. Nicely laid though. Wham sends just a few to the backside. The Saint's Blessing also giving the extra armor here to last longer. Can he clear this up? It's 33 versus 77. It feels undeniable, right? The Knights are just spending way too long running and not enough time gunning. Wham has shut him down and shut him out. The redraft is going to be a 2-2, surely. Louis MT, the problem here is even if you can survive this, get a new army together, your trade is now blocked. Your home is no longer your own in this game. What an incredible series this continues to be. Wow, I'm just showing, despite the nerfs, the siege, Roos should still be feared in the late game. Cannons just being thrown away. Streltsy spreading out now. And oh, no, get out now. There's really nothing he can do on the map at this point. He has still got traders coming, but the problem is, look at the way he's being shoved here. He needs to be coming behind the walls for this to even feel good. Second wave now arriving. Louis, he refuses to say GG. I've seen this from Louis, right? Like Louis, he kind of got called the Chinese beastie, right? Because he plays this late game really well. He finds ways out of the most ridiculous situations. Similar to like Beastie, it's kind of his iconic play, right? In a bad situation, game should be over, you're going to have to force me. And that's what Louis is trying to leverage here. His farming eco still hasn't been shut down yet, so theoretically, he still has an army to produce. But the advantage is feeling undeniable here on the other side. You've got Tithe Barns, you've got 5 relics. You've got hunting cabins continue to be spammed anywhere that they're needed. If I can find them. And now we have trade. Wow, we've reached that point. He's close to exhausting what he's got. He's got, what, 8k left. There aren't many players who would hang around at this point. Another thing to keep in mind, guys, is remember, it's very late for Louis on a weekday. And I'm pretty sure he has class to wake up for in the morning. I guess he's just going to sleep on his notepad in his medical class. I mean, so what if you don't know how to remove a spleen? When are they going to ask you to do one of those? Also, spleens are useless. This has been proven. So if you remove them wrong, I'm sure it'll be fine. A little bit of blood, maybe. Not as much blood as being spilt in this game. We do have greased axles on the way, so Bombards are coming in. He knows he needs to directly address this problem. Yeah, Bombards against Red Palace is intriguing, though. Usually you would not go this way, and we're starting to see why Louis still thinks there's hope. We do have Jun de Blast. Level 4 Jun has arrived, but even with the Val's Inspiration, cleave damage itself isn't going to be very impressive. However, that attack speed buffer might be the edge he needs to win these fights. I mean, it is really on Wham, right? The onus is on Wham to end this game. He needs to get the Bombards ASAP. He's got them queued up. He hasn't got room yet. He hasn't secured trade still. Like, we legit have Louis creeping outposts right now. He's still here. He's still kicking. I think Wham, the best thing he could do is start to clean up the landmarks, maybe one by one. But with the keep drops, this gets much harder. Remember, you get an Arbalest in placement in these. TCs as well. Short wall going up. Boiling Wall is there. It's going to be a dive onto the farms now as Louis MT is looking to just do it without goal. We've got Jean's elite raiders, or riders rather, on the way. They're going to feel like raiders in this game. Won't necessarily be able to take the direct fight, but could go for a landmark snipe. However, he finds the Streltsy unguarded. Mistakes made by Wham. He overextends here. Tries to start a step away, but no denying it. This force is going to get cleared up. Choke points do at least help him somewhat. And the fact that these are consecrated, he's going to delete them anyway! Doesn't give a damn! Get off my lawn, says Louis. Hey, I thought this the wrong way. I said, why not go next game? You got to wake up in the morning for studies. Yeah, which is why he wants to win this series quicker. That was such a cool play. Remember, guys, those aren't expensive losses. The Stable's Consecration saves you 25%, so deleting it like that, very pricey. You recharge them every 120 seconds, so a big loss there for Louis. But when you're 34 minutes in the game, you've got so many of these buildings buffed. It shouldn't kill you the way it would if you had to do this at, say, 40 minutes, right? It's the same as like with Japanese. Doing that with a Yorishiro drop building at like 40 minutes kills you inside. Doing it at 40 minutes, who cares? Louis, after all this, he's back up to 21 traders. Keep in mind the traders also getting extra returns, right? Because I think, no, we still don't have merchants guilds. At this point, I think Louis has forgotten it. And remember what I said about Jones Riders not being the great bread and butter? The reason he built them is because he couldn't afford elite techs. With trade back online, he can now get into elite horsemen. This is absolutely crazy. Wow, I mean, I'm feeling a bit puzzled as time goes on, right? Like, there was definitely an opportunity to stonewall the whole map, and he never took it. Now, he's feeling the pain of it. There was a breakthrough here. Sure, that's kind of a conundrum, but I thought he'd do additional stonewalls. They're on the way now. Wham needs this. It's the only thing stopping Louis from annihilating this economy. Because right now, the problem for Wham is he's playing into Streltsy. Half his army is immobile. He can't play left and right the same way that Louis can. The way he keeps dodging these fights as well. I mean, honestly, if Beastie's the worm, Louis has to be the cockroach. It's time to see if Wham has put on a big enough industrial boot to squash him, though. Red Palace about to be brought down by the Bombards. He's had enough of this. There's no more dancing around the equation. There's no more math to think about. It is break or be broken. Red Palace down. Forced retreat here. Trade now in a bit of a pickle. It's going to shuffle by. Love that additional gate. It's forcing them to go behind the walls. Mango's now, funnily enough, on the way from Wham against mass cavalry. I am intrigued, but I'd also say somewhat concerned. I mean, the adjustable crossbars is insanely expensive, guys, but look what it does. Extra range, blast radius, and extra projectiles. So it can become more of a generic killer unit. And no, I will hear nothing of it. Only cockroaches are this hard to kill. Louis MT has the endurance of the strongest bugs. Oh, look at this surround, though. 4 different directions he comes in. The Knights have to spread. Jones now arriving. Val's inspiration is going to be there, and he activates it. Needs to dive a little bit deeper here, though. Has he overextended again? I think Wham, although he had the Knights here this time, static deployment just came in. Jones is absorbing a lot of fire, though. The second wave is on the way. Numbers look heavily in favor of Wham, and he looks like he might be able to hold this. The Knights survived. But not for Louis. No. This is the end for the Chinese Prodigy kid in game number 4. We are gonna get a draft reset with an even Steven series, a best of 7 that's been upgraded. You don't hear this said often. Upgraded into a best of 3. Incredible game. Incredible series from both of these players so far. Oh, man. Don't tell me Season 9's a downgrade. This has been delivering piece after piece again. And it has got me over the moon excited about what's going to be happening in game number 5. I'll catch you in the next chapter for that one. Damn. What a game. What a series. Oh, fantastic. Mate, I've been impressed. There were moments where I was worried about, like, when we had Atoll and we saw the Trebuchet games, I was like, is this what the tournament's now going to be? But are you kidding me? The way this is delivering is phenomenal. And now we get a draft reset, guys. So they'll be hopping back into strategic mode. This time we're going to be using the best of 3 draft. So I think they've just completed it. Let me update this. We'll import it in now. Did we get the updated one? 1 second. There we go. 1 sec. Bringing in the right one now. So, reminder, folks, the way this works is we then, after we've done the best of 5 draft, we get a best of 3 type draft. Okay, I think they've sent me the wrong link. We'll get that in a second. I might literally just go find it myself. 1-man army. Well, no, that's not true. Much love to Cheam. Couldn't do it without him. So, Civ draft is underway. That's why. It's because it's a live one. My bad. So, surprise, surprise, we have another English pick coming through. In fact, I'm going to reset the draft now. And, wow. Okay, so H3, Byzantines, Chinese being banned. What I'll do is I will just load this in as soon as it's complete instead of manually updating it one by one. I think that's cleaner. But, by the way, guys, if you are just tuning in and wondering what the hell's going on, this is just the first of 29 more editions afterwards to come. We do have sign-ups closed now for number 2. The Midweek Muster number 2. But KillerPigeon's Midweek Muster number 3, 4, 5, and 6 should now be open. So if you want to participate, go through to the Start GG. Make sure you sign up to all of them ahead of time. We do draft the players today as our goal every time for the next one. So you'll know if you're in, just checking today. You should be tuning in anyway for the grand finals of the last one. And we are qualifying players based on the top 16 of the previous edition will automatically be invited. If they want to come, they can. If they don't, they can pass. And then the remaining roles will be filled equally based on people's tournament elo, which is the ATR system that most tournaments use, and the ranked ladder. So we've really tried to go the extra mile to not keep things as gatekeepers they otherwise could have been with tournament elo. So you balance things out so that people have ways, especially upcoming players, have ways of getting into these tournaments. So is there an age limit to participate? Ask Chum on that one. I'm not entirely sure if World's Edge has rules. My guess would be the rule would be 16, if there is one. But we're a boomer esports, so you should all be fine there. Oh, absolutely incredible, though. So we're halfway through the draft, and I can confirm that Abbas's Malians have made it through this time. So, Louis also going with the French. Man. Oh, also, we will be live tomorrow for edition number 2. So edition number 2... people will guarantee a bunch of them will be scheduling for tomorrow. They usually are. Because basically, round of 32 has to be played by the end of Saturday, and a lot of people typically like to do those on Fridays. So expect me to be live casting the beginning of week number 2. We're just non-stop here. What's the horseshoe map? Is it Marine Lord map? Because he's the luckiest. If you can get him to pick it. That's good old Atoll, mate. That's based on a bug spawn, but apparently, according to some people, bugged things can't be good things, right? It can't be evolved into good things. Atoll, I think, is better than Kotra. I really am blown away. Like, a big shout out to Cavalli, who made that bug spawn that was posted on Reddit into a map itself. It's incredible. It delivers some great games. I'm looking forward to that map in week number 2's draft as a non-default map, because I think Atoll will look a lot more impressive when it's drafted later in series than when it's default. We got loads of data. There's some feedback that have allowed him to evolve the map, and I think Cavalli is working on that now, making some small tweaks. But when we see it later, it's not just going to be Juji English every time, right? Because you're going to strategically draft around it and have to think about these picks, right? And good players will force your hand on that matter. But it's time to force my hand to copy and paste the new draft in, because we do have our final draft of the finals live. English, Malians, French, and Delhi for WAM. Chinese, Abbasids, Rus, and Ayabids. Oh, sorry, other way around. Did I just type? Yeah, once. It's because they switched sides compared to the lobby. The previous one. So, let me update that. I was about to say, when I saw the Abbasid together in China, I was like, that doesn't seem sensible. I know who goes English every time. So, Louis MT has the English, Malians, French, and Delhi. That makes more sense. That sounds more like a Louis draft. And Wham getting Chinese Abbasids sounds more like him. Roos once again there after it served him so well. Next map, I think Louis is probably going to take us to Kotra of a draft like this, right? Has to be heavily favored. Malians or English should feel really good. I imagine English almost feels like a default win. He still has, what, French for Frisian, which I think it has to be French for Frisian. And then Delhi for... or Malians, actually, for Coastal Cliffs. WAM, meanwhile, Ayabids could make sense on Coastal Cliffs. You can deal with Delhi there. And then For Frisian, we're probably looking at Chinese, but Abbasis could also fit that role. So Kotra is probably going to be the Roost pick. Yeah, so let me see. I think they're now browsing, setting it up, and we're about ready to get into game. So we should be ready to go in 2 minutes. Oh, hell of a day this is turning out to be, huh? Let me check. I'm getting atted on things. Are we good? Got questions coming through from people, I think. Someone just AI generated me a YouTube thumbnail for Game 3. I don't know. Maybe. I do need to get... I need to level up on the YouTube side. The problem is I just don't have the time to give it the attention it deserves to grow it properly. I think I had something in mind I was going to say for that game. Oh yeah, I think it's going to be to do... like the one for that has to be the cockroach of AoE4, right? This Age of Empires 4 player refuses to ever GG. Alright, let's get ready for that one. Emlord just said that WAM has a slightly better draft, but both suck. I mean, that does sound like a Marine Lord commentary on the matter. I don't know if I'd say they suck. Louis got English Malians with Socotra in the pool. I do think the rest of his draft is a bit too linear, like French and Delhi and where they need to go. So it maybe would have been better to have had something that flexed. Like, I've seen a few players do Byzantines on Frisian. Byzantines can operate reasonably on Coastal. Oh, sorry, they banned, weren't they? Yeah, of course. What could you have went instead? I don't think it's usually would have worked there. It usually tends to get really rough spawns. OOTD would have been very Louis-esque, actually. I think OOTD might have been better than, say, French. The players suck, KP. Oh, okay, got you. Oh, yeah, I still don't know if that was Marilla's best move in an interview with people who aren't AoE4 saying that everyone sucks. I know it's his persona. Oh, but a lot of people don't know that. Also, Marine Lord is wonderful in person. Part of me thinks that's because he doesn't have the peak muscle to like challenge you in person. It's like he kind of he's like, whoa, 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 don't fight me. But maybe it's that. Maybe it's just that he just loves being a wholesome person in person. M-Lord is a legend, but also Noodle Alarm Gamers. Do we have many buff people in AoE4? I don't know. I never checked Baltun's muscles. He looks like he's in good shape. That's true. Ramen is actually pretty buff. Gotta give it to him. Drongo? Okay, no. I'm sorry. I love Drongo, but if you put him in an arena against Ramen is going to MMA his ass. All right. A draft reset and a series that continues to promise to deliver the best Age of Empires 4 you're going to see this year. One and all, welcome to the first ever edition of the Midweek Muster, hosted by yours truly. We're into Game 5 of our first ever finals. Louis MT on the Malians for Socotra, and his opponent is going to be Wham, the Canadian kid, on the Iobids in the blue. Iobids are a pick that people thought was going to be really good on Socotra, but when we started to see this in tournament play, it became kind of a second-tier pick, right? Like, think about it. Malians, English, Rus, Mongols also kind of felt in the same category of Iobids of not feeling as good. So Malians definitely feel like they have an edge here. I'm curious what Wham's approach is going to be, because Desert Radius doesn't work very well against Javelins. Wham's probably going to try for some sort of fast castle-esque build where he feigns aggression first, because that's at least one thing you can do against Malians. The comp they go for isn't fast. And another cool edge you have here, when you're playing Iobids, same with Malians actually, you don't have to worry about the boar. This is a very, very rare sight. We don't see this often. But this is a matchup where neither side can leverage what is usually the most controversial element of Age of Empires 4's Socotra. This little piggy here. Yeah, I've seen players complain about this, because unfortunately the problem is not all spawns are born equally. And I think the one thing that can maybe be criticized about Socotra, like truly from a balancing point, is this boar. I've seen games where it spawns as close as this to a player. That's an overwhelming advantage for one player. And you reach a point very quickly where that RNG can decide the outcome. So kind of cool to see a matchup where it doesn't become about the ball. Might be later when they start fighting, though. You think he's going to do 2 dervishes? 2 dervishes is interesting, but a bit tricky against Malians unless they true fast castle. Because the problem against Malians is they're going to build a ranged hybrid army. The dervish strategy sucks against ranged hybrid armies. Because you lose the dervishes. Same reason why you wouldn't build the double imam from Ottomans against English, right? You'd walk in, you'd immediately lose both of the imams, and at that point you've wasted visit points. Is that supposed to be an count against English? You think Ibid's against English? I think possibly. That would make a lot of sense, right? Because then you go for the king. The king's counted by Desert Raiders. So there is a fair point to be made that Louis kind of outdrafted Wham on this opener because Louis MT had English. And I did mention English should be best here. But English does work as a backup pick on maps like Coastal Cliffs. And Louis also still has the Delhi for that map as well. So, well, I did there, actually, Rolands. It's a fair point. Curious to see what Wham's way out is going to be because it looks like he is going for the dervishes. I don't think this is going to be one of those aggro games with dervishes, though. We're probably going to see Wham just fast castle and play for the relics. And then it's on Louis to try and block that play. Curious, actually. Is Louis going to play the Age? Rushing Age 3 on this map as Malians can feel a little bit funky and a little bit hard. If you can go dervish on a small map like Kotra? No, because the problem is, like, your opponent's going to scout the wing anyway, but even if he doesn't, he's going to see you. Right? In theory, one of the good maps for doing dervishes could be Gorge or something like Highview. Because the whole idea is your opponent can't have enough units to spot you everywhere. It's the same conundrum people walked into up against H3 Fast Castle. And what was the solution there? It was 2TC civs, things like Roost that had these wooden palisades. Because you don't want to have to build knights and spawn them everywhere. It was much more cost efficient to walk over and wall the relics. Don't think we're going to see that out of Louis, because I think he needs all his economy working at home. But because it's such a small map, he doesn't need to. Right? He only needs to build units in 2 locations, and that is wild. Louis is going for an aggressive dock, and he's doing it somewhere where Wham is unlikely to see him. This is very craftily done by Louis, and actually a lot of it intentional, right? I don't know if he saw the scout's rotation. I assume he waited until he went east side, and then walked west. Understanding at this point in the game, on such a small map, you would have scouted everything, which means you don't have any value, right? Like, there's no sheep to be found. You're going to stick the scout next to the enemy's base, just like Louis done. That's crafty. And Wham, oh, he's aware. He's got an outpost on the way, so well played there. That's really important. Something didn't feel right to him, so this instinct paying off, because I don't think he actually scouted that in any meaningful way. What it might have been is because he wasn't seeing active gold gathering, he probably suspected that Louis MT was going to attack him, so he built into the outpost to protect against javelins. Either way, it's a really smart call by Wham. This guy genuinely might be a Jedi. He's sensing a disturbance in the Force. And he's going to be the force to be reckoned with here. Now, you could go Growth Wing. Growth Wing seems the most viable here. Advisors could kind of make sense as well to be very cost efficient with your military units. Maybe Industry Wing? Industry Wing into 2TC could be a thing. And yeah, I think the dervishes, that was really cool. He was trying to shove the deer in, right? Which is a very Wham-esque move. And that's a fair point, yeah. Scouts, so, well, think about it, because scouts, they hit for, what is it, 2 damage? No, sorry, 3. It's 3, you get debuff down, so, wait. Yeah, because 2 hits, because it's 5 health. You get debuffed by 20%. Percentile-wise, I think it puts you on the very verge of killing in 2 still. That's pretty annoying, though. And wow, I'm now pulling the villagers. So we are going on a stone here. Is this free TC? Free TC is kind of crazy. Because I think this is Industry Wing. This is like ultimate greed. And against a Civ like Malians, it's quite intriguing. Because usually the way you counter Malians' own greed is you go 2 TC early. But this is kind of like a... This is like a 2/3 TC. Okay, no, it is Growth Wing. It's just about the arrow slits. Damn, I was really hoping we get to see Industry Wing. It's just still not good enough. Remember, they buffed Industry Wing, so now it gives wood and stone. So yeah, he sees the drop-off. Wait, was that enough? Did he misclick? I think Wham misclicked. Oh, no. Yeah, he misclicked. I think something happened there. So he queued them to drop off, but I think he accidentally clicked on a sheep or a wood afterwards. So a bit of a fumble there. He doesn't have the stone for the outpost. And I think Louis just realized it. He's like, wait, shouldn't you be countering me now? The arrows are going to get more value from the archer ship. Oh, this is wild. Can you imagine if this puts Louis on match point? Because I don't know if this is the bug. I've heard there's a bug with queuing multiple orders. But I'm not sure if this was that or just kind of like a misclick. Because some of his villagers did drop off. That's what convinces me this was just a misclick. That's crazy. Dock drop now coming in. Okay, so there we go. Arrow slits is going to be there. He does get the stone he needs in the end. And he will be able to do it with the dock as well. So we are going to get some water-themed action. In the meantime, Dervishes should be able to start picking up the relics soon. Growth Wing is going to complete in 30 seconds. Louis doesn't have enough pressure to fully deny it yet. He has an outpost up on the west side. Nothing on the east. Is he really outpost rushing him? I mean, it would appear so. We've got an outpost coming up on the primary tree line. Double stables is being prepped by Wham, but the timing should be off here. I think this outpost does go up. And what's up, Obi-Wan Dev? Thank you very much for the Prime sub. Remember, guys, you've got Prime subs. I appreciate you dropping them off. They're free for you, but they give me money, and that helps make tournaments like this possible. Also, you don't have to worry about ads. It's pretty good. Jav's now marching in, so one or two villagers could get scalped here. Dervish reveals it. He's got Camel Lance on the way. He might be able to intercept this. The Warlord's buying enough time. Well played there by Wham. So Outpost still has about, what, 25 seconds? He's got another Warlord coming. Oh my god, he can actually stop this. Just Warlord again. Louis, what are we doing here? The villager might just get converted. Doesn't quite do it, but check this, guys. The Camel Lancer is now coming. There is no spearman. No blocker. He needs to get in there and body block the choke point. Lancer's just going to walk in, though, looking for it. Villager is going to get killed. So no outpost up. No denial on the wood. Louis MT is in trouble. He's got Donzos coming. Wham, spamming the Lancers in the meantime. Louis needs this up because this blocks the counter to the Donzos. Remember, Wham needs to switch into archers next. It's all about the wood. These games are crazy, man. You know, I really was worried. I said in the early rounds, like, we're on a new patch. People are playing a little bit defensive, a little bit slow, but no defender, no slow play here. This is peak aggression. Who would have expected the Malian player to send it like this against a fast cast Liabids? I guess you kind of have to from this position. Donzo's going to start trying to burn through. Outpost is complete. He did pull an additional villager. And now arrow slits on the way. So we are close to the point where this eco line will get hit by the outpost. Behind this, no looking back. Louis doesn't have any ranches prepped. He could potentially go Castle Age, but you're playing mass spears right now. There's no real value in that you don't get anything from the Farimba. It's arrow slits, folks. You can't get the javelin slits unless you get the defensive landmark. So we have got explosive dows coming now. Ooh, just about pulled away. Well played there by Louis. Lancers are out for a stroll. They're going to find a villager. Yeah, min-maxing. He's like, I'm not pulling everyone for this. And wait, why do we have the... Wham? Oh no, he forgot to build an extra mosque. I think he just realized, like, wait, what are you doing out here? I mean, it's not bad for the healing, right? It buffs the AoE heal when you're carrying relics, so maybe there's some credence behind this, but you are also missing out on passive gold income. Veterancy is coming from Wham, so it feels like he's got enough wood here to make this work. I'm going to find out quickly if that's the case, though. Louis, up to 17 Donzos now. Only feudal, mind you, but yeah, look at the damage they are now doing. The sad reality is Louis needs more. If he doesn't instantly kill one of these Lancers, the Dervishes can fix the damage. Still not a single ranch. We keep checking for it, waiting to see if there's going to be that moment. Lancers are now going to shuffle out. Villager gets in. Army needs to be fast, though, because that villager's in trouble. And we have got the relic here, so that's giving the AoE heal. This game. Oh, this series. The things it's doing to my heart right now. Bagler's going to die by. Demo ship comes out to counter. Does get the sinker. So that's going to force Louis away on the Navy side. The Donzos are in position. They need to start diving and idling this wood line. Because Wham is officially getting into the arches. Louis never takes relics. That would be because Feudal Age stops you from taking relics. Could you imagine if there was a Civ that could do that? Oh my god. No. No thank you. We're already seeing how toxic Delhi can be. That's just with Sacred Sites. It's at least something you can take back. Donzos are still up here, and in fairness, he does have enough javelin throws to kill villagers now, as there is no textiles, but not really finding the opportunities yet. I mean, we've had some eco kills, right? You can see it. They're actually pretty tight here. 3 worker kills on both sides. The Growth Wing definitely feeling a bit powered down. In fact, did Wham miss production? I'm trying to figure this out. There should be a bigger difference between them, right? Growth Wing and Castle is 7 villagers. He's only 4 ahead, and they've both killed 3. Louis. Oh, he is going Castle. He's trying anyway. Lancers are hunting. They will see it. Big hit here. Donzo's in position. Will scare him away. Louis does end up losing another villager, but once again, the difference is only 4. Actually, it's 3 now. What? Yeah, something went awry here. I think there was villager production time missing. This at least now explains some of it. Textiles coming in, but it still doesn't add up here. And it's going to be a Farimba. I mean, it had to be, right? There's not a single ranch. What's the value, though? I guess the thought here from Louis is you can now play Javelineer or Freeborn. Freeborn would be curious. It would make it very difficult for Wham to target the right unit with Donzo plus Freeborn. And it also would be more cost-efficient than Javelins, but I think this is going to be Javelineers, guys, and this is the reason why. Javelineers will directly counter the archers from range, but also the poison damage is very effective against armored units. Tricky one, though, because Wham has been essentially let off the hook here. Okay, he hasn't. He built a mango. He's going to lose this game. People saying Wham has no food. That's factually not true. Because of what you've done, he now has access to the berries and the deer. He has a mango to clear up the tower as well. Like, he's not trapped. I do wonder why he's doing incendiary shots, because I'm pretty sure incendiary shots is less effective against small buildings than normal mango now. With the changes, especially. So yeah, a little bit perplexed by that. For the tech up, he feels confident he can now take this. He's legit just using this relic to heal. That's crazy. And let's get confirmation in with the Farimba. What are we getting? It's the Javelineers. It makes so much sense here, folks. Gives you that poison damage, also keeps you as a counter to archers, keeps you further away from the enemy front line. It's just a case of what's not to love. Other thing as well is Javelineers get upgraded movement speed now. So the cool thing about that is with 1.38, they can position better in these fights. Okay, so Wham has got good food again. And remember, he went Growth Wing, so yeah, this is a lot of food. He has 2,700 food on that one berry patch. Remember, you get an extra 100 per berry patch by going for the extra, the Growth Wing option in Castle. Right, 50 in Feudal, 100 in Castle. It's a very considerable advantage there in terms of how he efficiently uses small chunks of the map. Louis can start adding in ranches, but I don't expect that. Good news for him, though, is he won't run out of food, right? Because once this food is all gone, he can just start producing cattle. For the time being, though, to remain efficient, it's all about getting the javelins. I do have a second mango here, so admittedly against the javelins will be decent. If Louis is on point with the micro, though, the damage isn't going to feel good. In fact, he may have overextended with this. He targets out the dervish. Death to healing. No Mother Teresa in this neighborhood. Interesting that we're getting Musafadi, though. I'm a little bit confused by that from Louis. I mean, there are Ghoulems. Surely Sofa would have been better. I mean, Sofa is going to cost you a lot of food, but... And I know you're up against Camel Lancers, but as an effective front line... I guess the problem here is... No, I'm going to stand by that. Against Ghoulems, it should feel quite good. Musafadi are the counter, don't get me wrong, but the Archers... In some ways, you are kind of fighting into a harder comp compared to Sofa. I guess it just doesn't feel very sustainable without ranches. Other kind of cool thing by having this Dervish AoE heal, by the way, very impactful when you've got things like Ghoulems. Because these aren't units that are just going to get burst instantly, right? So they will get that trickle of health and it will matter. I believe it also still works on Manjaniques, so you don't need to bring villagers. I'd have to confirm that, though. Where the hell is that? He's over here. Oh, he's not with the main army. But Louis, reluctant to fight still. We do have a demo creeping in. If only he could have got the time right there. Yeah, he's creeping for it. You cheeky git. You can see he wants to wait for them to go to this berry patch and then detonate. Won't get the opportunity, though. Yeah, it's a bit too far inland. So sinks the back there instead. We'll have a follow-up play. This is a really smart play if you get the timing right and you tack on land. However, you're about to be attacked on land as well. Wham! Moving up with a more static comp. Mangoes do take a while to arrive, but they are now there. Louis, can he make this worthwhile? He's looking for trades. Can cut the reinforcements. It looks like Wham is actually going to book it back home. The tough part about this is Louis' army can disengage quicker. So he has to read the angle and intercept. Villager's in trouble, though. He's cutting him off. Javelin's diving in. They don't care about these archers at all, and they will easily snipe down even textile villages. It's that eco lead that Wham had built about to be lost, and all because he came home, so he needs a clear up. More villagers down. I don't know why he's trying to garrison them inside of a dock. A bit of panic there. Donzos do scare away these camels. The reinforcements have arrived. The big army is now here. Louis, does he try to engage or does he try to just get out? He's going to run. Okay, so as long as he gets away with most of this army, it's pretty good for Louis because he's minimized the economy now. Big idle time there. Second wave coming for him. Gaps in Wham's production. His food gathering is absurdly bad at this stage. It's just a matter of not losing your troops, and this could be big. Could be big. Could be. Look over there. Okay, Mangonels. Woohoo! Season 9, what a unit. I don't know how he didn't take any damage from them there. He'll probably kill the hunting canoe at least. Oh my god, and now he's wasting his time there. He needs to get home with the rest of the army though. Louis still scaling more javelins. This is turning into a massed range battle, and Javeliniers will win that. Oh my god. Remember, Ayabids don't have the advantage Abbasas do in this age with archers. They don't have the better attack speed. Mamluk's bravery is in theory cool, but terrible in fights against javelins. They take too long to die. Even more so these ones. Because remember, they have the kite potential. This is actually really scary. Usually javelins can kind of get gap closed between attacks because archers attack faster, save movement speed, right? But these Javelineers are faster. So despite their sucky attack speed, they can then use the extra movement speed to stay out of range. Yeah, kind of scary for Wham. The only upside, of course, he does have these Manjaniques. The downside is he does have these Manjaniques. We've yet to see Mangoes often look impactful. Lou, the timing on that, Wham wasn't looking. So Villager's shuffling across. He's going for a keep drop. This is kind of crazy, especially with Mangoes here. This could backfire. Louis, what are we doing? Excuse me? What's going on? He didn't have the stone. Oh my god, wrong season. Villagers moving in with the Manjos. In trouble now. We'll be able to snipe out one of them. The Wallow's coming through, though. He needs to get out of here. Louis, what's going on? He has to delete some of the villagers. What just happened in this game, Louis? He panicked and all-in. The villagers going after the Manjaniques. Even if they get them, it's not worth. I can't believe this. Louis, I think he miscalculated the stone gathering. He thought he had it in time for a keep drop on the edge. And instead, now he finds himself on the edge of defeat in these finals. Wham will take the teeny tiny island. And what a way to do it. Louis looked like he was so close to winning this game, but never able to find that truly decisive moment. Forced on the defensive, but then no way back. It is going to be the Canadian on the edge of winning the first ever finals. The question now is, can he close it out? We'll find out in the next chapter. Oh, wow. What an insane set. I mean, this... Yeah, no, switch over. I think he did miscalculate the stone. It's ambitious what he's trying in the first place. In fairness, he kind of gets forced there. What do you guys think? Is it about the mangonels in that one? I guess it is. Those mangoes were impactful. They were impactful by existing. Maybe I make it about that then? Season 9 mangonels impact comes from simply existing. Louis too young and panicky. I think he just well, it was partially like a forced error. I really like to kind of highlight these ideas of forced errors because I think it holds there. And that part of the problem for him in that game is like the Lancers were coming into his economy, right? So he sort of had to shift his troops over, or his villages over that way anyway. It's just then the timing's misaligned. It's not over though, folks. He reserved the English pick, and it could be pretty impactful here. We are actually heading to Coastal Cliffs next. The boys are getting ready in lobby. This is a set that really could go the whole distance. And if we go to Frisian Marshes, I am a bit worried for Louis. He's going to have to try French all-in against Chinese or Abbasids. And I think there, Wham's likely going to go Abbasids. 5th match, Malian win? Yes. Oh, sorry. Wait, no, you're right. It's been mislogged. Let me find that. Left win. Rest is correct, right? Ayabids, Rus, yes. English, Juji, yes. Everything is correct. Oh, we're getting ready to load the game. It's time for my painkiller o'clock, actually. I'm starting to feel pain in my foot. For those who don't know, I broke my ankle. That's right. We organized 30 weeks of tournaments while also breaking our ankle. Breaking the most complicated bone in our ankle. I'm having a fun month. It's a mixed bag. There we go, it's fixed. By the way, guys, you won't be able to prescribe yourself these type of pills, but you can get yourself these type of pills. I highly recommend these. These are dope. Guys, I know a lot of people in the chat, we ain't virgins, we got kids. If you're trying to get your kids to take multivitamins, I highly rate these. The gummies are top. They're peak. They're berry flavored. They are summer fruit flavored. I really like these. Exclamation mark Protein Works. If you want to check them out. They support this channel, so you should go ahead and support them. I've tried barley tea, some spiritual on. Barley tea, dude. I mean, maybe I should get back on my rooibos tea. I don't know how effective that is for that. But let's get ready to go. Let's hop in. Can we flip the score as well? Do me a favor there. Please do. I assume he's got it open. Whew. It's alright if not, I can open it. I think. Yeah, it's not too laggy. There we go. I done it. Drug dealer, KP? No way, Jose. Okay, I can't afford to be in that type of business. That's why I need to make sure everyone's subscribing and liking these videos so I can afford to be in the content creation avenue because we are here in the finals of our first ever official Microsoft tournament. And it has gone all the way to a Game 6. Wham, now on the verge of being the first ever victor in the midweek muster. Can he close it with a roost on Coastal Cliffs? Or will Louis MT of Team Elephant in the pink prove unbeatable on his English? Not a single English loss so far in this tournament. Can he keep the win streak alive? He really does go deep. He dives deep into his best Civ available right now. Only French and Delhi what remain, and that Game 7 is still going to be a question mark, I think, when we get to it, if we get to it. But this can at least look good. Roos, a bit of a tricky Civ right now. In the English matchup, I think you're going to be forced to play Feudal Age, even though you'd rather just go for Castle. Especially if your opponent's massing Lombos, because then you can't just play into the cheap and efficient Horse Archers that we've recently seen players returning to. Looking at the spawn on the map as well. I mean, Wham does have some safety here. Back goal. Double tree line forward is usually the weakness though. That's why English at first, when Coastal Cliffs were released, were really popular on this map, is because there's a lot of forward resources that you can exploit with Lombo rushes. I'm curious, is Louis going to take that risk? Because the problem now is he's the one at risk of defeat, right? If he loses this game, grand final's over, you take second place. In these situations, sometimes players get a little bit freaked, and they take a safer route, and we might be seeing that. Abbey of Kings is coming in. I don't think you can rush the 2TC here, guys, because here's the tricky thing about Coastal Cliffs. The town center is really far away. The option for it anyway, because the stone outcroppings don't spawn close. You can see it on both sides. They are intentionally shoved further away from the TC. This was a design choice by Avali to discourage TC booming. So with that in mind, it could be fast castle from both. Psych! Oh my god, he's doing it. I mean, at this point, why not just build the initial gold here? You could have saved 50 wood on this. He's legit just going for it. This is so ballsy because Wham, in theory, if he scouts this and now just goes for a Ford Stables, he can shut you down. Instead, Wham, oh my god. I feel like Louis is using Wham's playstyle against him here, folks, because Wham loves deer shoving. Puppy Paw loves deer shoving. So Louis is going to get away with this insanely greedy play because Wham isn't even looking. That's a rough one. I wonder if Wham had known. I mean, obviously, if you know, I think you just go for a Ford Stables, right? Well, not Ford, but you drop it here on the front of your base. Instead, Wham, he is gathering wood. There is the potential for it, but if his idea is fast castle, I don't think you're going to see him drop a Stables. Because that sacrifices your efficiency of timing, right? Usually you gather this wood so you can sell for gold. We'll see. The other tricky part, I guess, is even if you go for the knight, there is going to be a king to potentially block you. So with the way that Wham's scaling this, he might be too delayed. Guess we'll find out. Scout at least distracts him. And yeah, I love that. The Spidey instincts go off again for Wham. He's like, huh? Why are you coming over to challenge two scouts? What are you actually up to? And oh my god, they're both doing it. But actually, from Wham, this theoretically could be not a TC play. If he goes all feudal, he could be looking to outpost rush the English, which would be really, really odd to see, actually. English is like the hardest civ in the game to outpost rush. But if they don't see it coming, right, if you get a wooden fortress drop here, you just get a staging point. We'll find out. It looks like more coming out now. I think he was waiting for... No wheelbarrow. Okay, that makes me stroke my chin even more. In fairness, like, he doesn't need that many there, right? Because you can buy the double stone proc, and then you just need 50 overall. But I figured he'd just send one villager earlier. I was a little bit surprised he brought two. He could make a TC out here. That would secure him the berries and the gold, but I think he's going to go for, yep, the boar and the deer. Meanwhile, Louis, not going to get as good of a deal here, right? Like, he could actually go for the double deer stack. In fact, if he knows that it's 2TC, which he should do to the stone gathering, we could just see Louis take a ballsy route and go very forward, whereas English typically drop their TC on the gold. Love this. Yeah, I highly agree with what Louis is doing here. You need to go greedy. Your opponent has done the same. There's nothing to aggress you here. And I love this. He uses additional villagers to snipe the deer before the scout can shove it away. Oh, well played. Okay, so we are getting a macro game. And yeah, he might even get the snipe on the scout, which would be big here. A little bit surprised he didn't keep his own scout around. He could pull him back now and have got the double hit. King is already being a little bit of a nuisance. Not able to find a Nico kill. Not even able to get hit in. The tree line is the jackpot here, guys. There's no wheelbarrow and your opponent's far away from safety here. So if you're going to hit anything, it should be the trees. All right, one's if you think that Louis is going to win this and get us a full series in these grand finals, or two's if you think Wham's going to close it out in Game 6. That's right, there's still potentially more to come. English is kind of scary here now, right? Roos used to counter English in the late game with the old Siege because their Spring Auto are unbeatable and their Mangoes just deleted longbows. I don't think it plays that way anymore, though. With the changes to like the way units scale, I believe longbow spam in the late game is capable of beating Roos with spears. We go longbow men at arms maybe, just to get a front line basically, right? With elite army tactics, because your opponent's going to do Streltsy plus horseman, the melee armor is really effective there. It comes down to like where you're fighting as well. If you have an open battlefield, Roos should do really well because they'll surround the longbows. But in theory anyway, I think the longbow scaling in the middle of castles is a lot stronger on the current patch because mangoes no longer counter this issue. And yeah, it was highlighted earlier, by the way. Reminded the people, the winner of this will be first seed in the next edition of Midweek Muster. So we'll get the most favorable matchup, which I believe this time around Beastie got in round number 1. Another thing to keep in mind, actually, is the Longbow versus Streltsy fight favors Longbows even more now, ever since they added in the bowstrings. So with that Unitech, you get the +1 range, right? There's a lot of things that have just kind of, I think, leaned this to be more favorable for English. It's weird as well, because England in some ways got heavily nerfed, right? Like, the men-at-arms change with the elite army tactics hurt them quite badly. But I think the overall changes to Siege may have enabled them further. This is not panoramic? No, we do panoramic and then zoom in by 2. So you guys get a little bit more of a close-up. You're still pretty far away from the action, I'd argue. I find it's a nice balance because what you'll discover over time is things like encoding exist, and encoding, the way that works is with platforms, there's a limitation on how much bits you can send. And AoE 4 is a very heavily dense game of foliage. So when you're zoomed really far out, you lose a lot of quality, no matter what you try and do. So we do have villagers moving up. There's a cheeky attempt at walls. Knights are being spammed, but Louis is now getting spears ready. I love the way this is accelerating already. You haven't just got them both chilling at home and doing nothing. Wham was trying to go for castle, but this play by Louis is forcing him to invest a bit more. Knights isn't bad to scale into, though. It's quite cool what he's doing with walls. This seems really silly, but guys, it's actually intentional. Your opponent went infantry, you went cav. All you need to do is wall the center slab, and that delays his arrival if you both attack. You'll always reach him first. Knights are now arriving. Good block is here, so it looks like the villager is going to get sniped. Could even think about diving in, but he's showing a lot of respect here. For Wham, it's not about winning now, it's about winning a few minutes from now. He has the high trade house on the way. Louis, however, has invested quite heavily into military right now. And yeah, this right here, folks, is the power of the Golden Gate. It's ludicrously good. King also getting sniped, so another valuable unit lost for Louis. High trade house on the way. Be sure to get your numbers in for this one. Doesn't look like the best, but the funny thing about Roost with their high trade houses is even when it looks bad, it's actually decent. Also, remember, Louis was later on his TC timing, right? Wham also got his quicker because he was able to favorably exchange with Golden Gate. Like, do not underestimate the value that this landmark gives you in a TC race. And that's all they shuffling around, but there's just nothing to gain here. It's a tricky thing. You know Louis is eventually going to go for a white tower drop lightly between the two TCs. You could try to strong arm into the central golds, but I think against Knights that's very ambitious here, especially with the potential for things like horse archers to follow up. But we can see instead it's going to be the men-at-arms. Pretty effective here while your opponent's stuck on feudal lombos. And a funny wall coming from Louis, just trying to keep options open on the map. Yeah, dangerous what he's doing with the Lombos. Like, you can just lose these to a single knight, but I think it's because he knows his opponent is trying to dive him with his knights already. So he's just looking to find, you know, low-cost rewards across the map. Double outpost dive is going to be rough as well. I do not know what that attack delay was. That's a terrible exchange. A little bit of out of time achieved, but a knight going down like that. Lombos are now coming all the way around the back. The gold not really being occupied, courtesy of things like the high trade house. 163 gold. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know. Like, is this landmark too good? Maybe Abbey of Trinity is just too bad. But we've been seeing, I want to say, like 90% of the time, high trade house now. It's always the go-to at this stage. It makes sense when you think about it. Like, sure, Abbey of Trinity makes the monks cheaper. But a high trade house, basically, like, the first minute of existing gets you pretty much the difference in discount. It's kind of crazy when you think about it that way. Men-at-Arms dive in. This is going to be shuffled away. Undermesh 2 is not coming for Wham. He does have archers being prepped, though, so already aware of the spear longbow threat. And you're noticing Louis isn't rushing the age. That's because he will be pushed off the deer soon, so he needs to set up the permanent food source now. Well, it technically wasn't High Trade House nerfed in some ways, because I think they nerfed the bounty escalation from the tiers, right? But in theory, like, tier 3 comes out now a lot more than it did pre-bounty change. Because before you had to clear enough deer and boars, right? And now you just keep gathering and eventually get it. And arms are going to shuffle in. White Tower now on the way, and he has to protect the loose TC. Pretty cool as well, because it somewhat protects the extinction of gold. Villagers are going to have to leave quite early here, but this might tip him off as to what's happening. Wham, he sees it. He will not give up a golden opportunity. Ironically, this is the White Tower in the series that Wham might be able to punish. Dives on in. No textiles even from Louis. Mistakes made there. Should be able to get the landmark up, but it's definitely going to cost him a few villages to do so. The men-at-arms are still running around on this. He just has to commit. I don't know why he pulled the villages that wide. A little bit of panic there. So Louis MT will get the age up, but look at the cost in blood here. Over a 10-villager lead now for Wham. Immediately garrisons inside the White Tower. Not going to be quick to kill these men-at-arms either. Remember, he never got any blacksmith tech upgrades, so yeah, the bow damage is quite high, but not as quick of a kill as you'd like. A lot of idle time now forced on Louis at the beginning of his age up, while Wham is now happily picking up relics and prepping for a push. Damn, that was vile. I think Louis panicked a little, though. He had double outpost still when he pulled the villagers away. Had he just accepted their fate, delayed a little bit longer, that tech up would have been a lot cleaner and maybe cost you 5-6 villages max. I think it cost him almost double, if I'm not mistaken. Really tricky situation now because he knows the relics have to be being hoovered up. He doesn't play protector to many of them. He's got spears at least coming out to defend one. Funnily enough, the Warrior Monk is actually not even going to go for that one. He's going to go even more greedy, which is going to pay off here. Oh my god, this hurts. Going through into the tree lines. We talked about how English can usually constrict the wood and ruin the game for their opponents on this map. Goes both ways, right? English is a wood-heavy civ. Even though you get these discounts on farms, you need so much when you're setting up the clusters like this. So he's going to dive underneath the TC. He immediately starts torching the primary. For good reason. There's still no blacksmith techs. And he has double undermesh. Counter raid is going to come in, but nowhere near as impactful. He's legit just going to take this down. It's not a quick kill by any means. But here's a kill that can happen. I don't know. What are you doing, mate? Are you torn between whether you should garrison or kill something? Glad we could help you. He just doesn't have an army. This is the tricky part about making a White Tower this loose, by the way. Same with the TC this loose. Like, if you don't have control of the game at the beginning of Castle Age, this happens. He committed the White Tower to protect the secondary, and now he has nothing to protect his primary or his farms. This White Tower placement, ironically, after the White Tower placement of Game 2 delivered an insane victory, this one may have just cost Louis MT the Grand Finals. Knights coming in now, but irrelevant against an army this big. They at least force a reaction. Admittedly, that doesn't need to happen here. TC now down to almost a third of its HP. Ball's not quite going to be able to complete. It's going to try to get him as tight as possible, but Wham, just so comfortable now in this game. That late game I talked about that he should fear against the English. You don't have to when you shut him down this early. There you go. That is it. 1-0. Give it up for your first champion ever in the Killer Pigeon midweek muster. There could be only one, and it will be etched in history as Wham. Insane game, insane series overall. Big congrats to Wham. Commiseration to Louis. He put up an insane fight here. I was impressed by some of the games he took, the way he took them as well, especially on traditional maps. And I'm sure we'll see more of them. So that means that Wham, he gets the free $100 on offer for this first week. The first edition, I'm sure he'll be looking to claim more as the weeks go on. He gets automatically invited to the top seed for number 2. Louis MT, I'm sure, will be back again. He loves playing in these, and I'm sure we're going to see more known names. Maybe that one who just raided me, Marine Lord. Thank you very much for the raid, mate. Hopefully, we'll see him in the coming weeks, maybe week 3, for example. But, guys, if you like this, make sure you are subscribing to the videos. Make sure you're liking, commenting down below as these get uploaded. They will all end up on the YouTube side, and I'll see you all in the next chapter, the next edition of the Midweek Muster that is just around the corner. Hoi, hoi, hoi. Well played. So, a 4-2 victory. We want interviews. I don't know about that. I don't know if we'll do the interviews. Maybe. It's up to Wham, really. Don't need to. But thank you. Big shout out to Marine Lord. Appreciate the raid, mate. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the official broadcast for KP's Midweek Muster. What do we all think? Are we all impressed? Are we all in love with this format? Who's hyped for the next 29 weeks? Your map is terrible. What, you mean Pigeon's Valley? Dude, Pigeon's Valley delivered a banger. All right, you know what? I'm just going to make a really shit map that has a single gold vein in the center and about as many trees on it as Vortex has hair on his head. And I'm going to call it Marine Lord's Arabia. And then you will own the title of the worst map. And even you'll have to admit it. I don't know, I thought, like, I was worried Pigeon's Valley was going to be really dull. That was actually a sick game. ML hanging out with Core. Oh, jeez, don't get me started on that. I mean, no. But here's the thing. Core hates Atoll, but Marino said he actually likes it, just not as a default map. So, it's almost like pros can have different opinions, and they are opinions. But no, I think this was a success. So, we're figuring out now, by the way, the default map system is going to stay the same for week number 2. But, and this is important for players that are involved, you need to go vote. I'm right now polling opinions on whether people want to have a change to BO5s for the round of 8 with different map selections from that point on. You guys are going to decide this, so go vote on it right now. I think I've got like close to 20 votes, still 10 people that need to vote. I want to go to the BO5. I think it's better to go to the BO5 than just have the default map because we can be a bit more adventurous with the default map that way, I think. But I'll let the players have an input. Where is the poll? The poll is in the KPMM1 communications under KP's Midweek Muster on my Discord. !Discord will get you there for that, by the way. Let's do Black Forest. Oh, Jesus Christ, no. By the way, Atoll sucks for now because people misdraft too hard. Yeah, well, what I'm saying, Marino, is like that misdraft is easily going to happen because of the fact it's the default map. I think next week it will function a lot better because, guys, week number 2 is already available and ready to go. It should be kicking off soon, right, Chum? I believe it's going to kick off in probably just a few hours. But you can't sign up now. So if you haven't signed up already, too bad. Boo-hoo. But week 3, week 4, week 5, and week 6 are now all available for sign up. So we can actually have a look at the website and you guys will see. Careful of the flashbang because it is going to be mostly white. Because I don't... Wait, is there a dark mode for Start GG? I've never seen one. We have got week 2. Hey, look, this guy's cool. You should watch him. We have... So, this time around, Atoll is not the default map. The default map is going to be this. It's called Pigeon's View. I don't want players to complain that it's not a map that's in the game by default. Too bad. Set up scrim lobbies and actually practice. Like, you know, I'm going to really pop people's bubble here. Pro players scrim. Like... Just like people who want to stream and say, I just want to play games. That's not what streaming and content creation actually is. Right? Get some scrims together, practice this map, because although it is familiar to Highview, it will play differently. The reason it will play differently is that there is not back spawning trade posts and there is not back spawning sacred sites. So high view on this map, players will spawn here and here. There's 2 sacred sites and there are trade posts near the center. You have been warned. If you assuming it's just going to be like high view, the way that Lipany is like just an altar vote. No, it's slightly different. This is going to be our default map. Atoll will remain in the roster. We have removed Pigeon's Valley and Kotra from week number 2. So you've still got Gorge, Frisian, Cliffside, Coastal Cliffs, and we added in Kalauga. Kalauga is a map inspired by Age of Mythology. It's a map in Age of Mythology. The way this map is going to work is you will have sacred sites on the rivers. The rivers are entirely shallow. They do have fish in there, but because they're entirely shallow, you have a different dynamic. It's not just, you know, canal on 2 sides. So this, I believe, has now locked. Chum can confirm that for me. We are figuring out seedings right now. People need to confirm their participation so we can lock in the seedings. Round of 32 is from Friday 15 GMT to Saturday 15 GMT. So I will be live tomorrow to cast those. I am open to having players play a set slightly earlier so we can kick a stream up earlier in the day. If you are interested in doing that, contact me and we'll figure out who will give prior for that for. We might, I think we might look to maybe open this up to start from 12 if some people really want that, just so they have a little bit more wiggle room, but we'll figure that detail out. If you guys do have feedback on how these tournaments are being ran, if there's something you want to see different, ! Discord again, whether you're a player, viewer, there are plenty of ways you can provide feedback. Go do that. KP, we just want to be spoon-fed greatness, not work for it. I'm sorry, but that ain't how it works, dog. Yeah, I've said this before. Guys, if you are a player in these tournaments, I'm not asking a lot of you. I want you to use that Discord. You are going to drop when you are scheduling your match, and you will drop it before you do your match and your draft. That's all I'm asking. Very simple stuff. You drop those in the respective Discord channels so that my admin doesn't have to chase after you all, because we are all adults here, or most of us are adults. Unlike Gully, like, not all of us are in diapers anymore. So with that in mind, most of us are capable of posting a draft link that we already have to share in a chat and then giving the results with a spoiler on Discord. And also letting us know using the Discord timestamps when you're going to be playing your sets. If you guys need the Discord timestamps, maybe have a resources channel where they have a link to that. There is this very handy thing for timestamps that you can use called r.freev.fi. This thing is a godsend. All you need to do is in your respective time zone, whatever like your clock says now, whatever your zone's going to be, you do this, you copy the clipboard, put the date, put everything, you choose relative, you can show it long term, date, etc. And when you paste it into Discord, whoever sees it will see it in their time zone. So players, use this. It'll make it very easy for you to like post your scheduling. Appreciate you for that. And please do it. Because the goal here is to not create more work for Chum, the admin team, everyone else. The goal is to, I don't want to say fully automate you guys, but there is a level of autonomy that I think we can agree is simple to do, and you all are capable of it. So please do this if your players signing up on these. It's not much to ask. ! Discord, you need to be in there. Do it. Because the alternative is me having to find ways of paying my admin more and then going, this isn't sustainable, and stopping. So if you like tournaments, I'm asking a very small thing here. For the viewers, something cool you guys can do. Someone mentioned Reddit threads. If you find epic moments in these games, which, by the way, this grand final has had like 3 different insane epic moments, create Reddit threads on them. Clip them, send them over. Share around these tournaments are happening. We have 29 more weeks of this, and this is the official broadcast location. If viewership is good, I can bring in sponsors. If sponsors come in, I can potentially increase certain weeks, make them separately special, like end of month finals with double the prize pool. I can bring in guest casters. I can scale this up. But it does require you guys tuning in and you guys letting other people know, because I think it always gets said, right? There's thousands and thousands of people playing AoE4, and a lot of those thousands of people don't even know there are tournaments going on, even when it's like big EGC ones. So best way to do that, spread it word of mouth. We have got our attendees locked in now, I believe, for week number 2, I said. Like, is this the final list? I believe so. So, of course, the Chad Lord Crackety, who beat Beastie, is going to be returning. Killjard is going to be back. Louis MT, Anatan, Wham, B, We've got some new faces I haven't seen Stay Frosty before. Rivtal's going to be in here. Chuck Francis returns. Ezra, Mahodo, MSN, Myriad. We've got Kat. There's going to be Bit Cousin. Haven't seen them before either. Sassy, Elyona. Boy's going to be there. Red Darksider. Gully Deckle. Trackle. Stopper. Dumu's coming back again. Love that. Mio Micah and Imjertikla. And I'm sure we'll see more prolific names within the AoE4 scene joining up on these as time goes on a bit. Isn't it 32-1, 31-2? Not exactly, Gully. So the seeding process is a little bit different because we wanted to provide a reasonable degree of variety in matchups that would still be fairly weighed within skill. So the way that we do our seeding, and it is even on here, is that you will be seeded based on a combination. So we will seed based on first spot will go to Wham because he just won our first edition. And then you'll have the top one from ATR and then the top two from 1v1 ranked ladder. And then it will switch back between ATR and ranked 1v1. And thank you. I think Chim has just... thank you, Chim. Let me just pull that up. So I think Chim has just sent me the exact... I can share this on stream, right? I don't think this is anything top secret. I think this is the thing we sent around. So this is our seeding. If there's any confusion, this is where you can see it. So commiserations to Hosen, Cal, and Julie Beck. They just missed out. Hosen, Cal, keep grinding at it, mates. You were very close to making it in, actually. Oh, well, Cal, 2,350. Okay, Cal wasn't that close. Hosen was very, very close to making it through again. Our only Iranian player. So outside that, though, you can see how things are going to be seeded. Puppy Paw, so the Canadian bros get first and second. Louis just behind, Dimu as well, B, Anatan, Krakedy, Elyona, and then so on and so forth. So this is the seedings. And yeah, you can see when we reach the point qualified by seeding. First time I reached this rank, I was never below 700 in the last seasons. Exactly. Look at Hosen Grinder, man. He does this and he also makes mods. That's pretty impressive. The 1%? Wait, what do you mean, Gully? But yeah, the thing that's really nice about this format, and this is a really big part for me, guys, is you can come back. Right? So like players who don't sign up this week can try to play next week. They can grind on the ladder in the meantime, or maybe they've got enough ATR to make it in based on that formatting. The top 16 will make it through. So if you're a player that's weak on the ATR, but you made it 1 week and you're good enough to stay, you'll stay. And that will allow you to farm more ATR to get through different means. So like out of all the formats we have in AoE4 right now, this is probably the least gatekeepy one we could have came up with that was sustainable and not an absolute nightmare from an admin perspective week after week. So hopefully people appreciate this. A big shout out to Akame, Chum, Nili for helping make this all possible. And myself. Big handshakes. We've been doing phenomenally well. Also big shout out to Marine Lord, Lash, who have been doing the different language commentaries. If you guys are going to stream your perspectives or cast the games, we ask very simple things of you. There is a logo. You can grab it from the Wikipedia. Have that on your screens. On top of that, you do need to make sure the name of your stream says Killer Pigeons Midweek Muster. And do an @ on the Killer Pigeons so people know when the main broadcast is. These are really all we're asking when it comes to streamer requirements. It's pretty minimal. And then there'll be a 2-minute delay. We're reviewing the 2-minute delay and how flexible that is, how much we can stretch that by. But for the time being, the 2-minute streamer delay is going to remain in place. So when you're making lobbies, make sure you select 2 minutes delay for your game to start. If you're streaming your games, you need to be putting 2 minutes delay as well. I know it's not ideal for some people that like to content create, but until I get confirmation on what we can or cannot do from Microsoft's side, I am taking the safe route here on not upsetting the people that provide the primary funding for the prize pool. Midweek mustard. Yeah, but then you have the weekend sauce, right? You got to balance it out. So we will also, like I said, this one is definitely going to be the same format of best of 3, best of 3, best of 3, best of 5, best of 7. We will be reviewing whether we might be shifting to a best of 3, best of 3, best of 5, best of 5, best of 7. If we make that change, the goal will be to make the first 2 rounds required starting map, i.e. this week it would be Pigeon's View, and then the remainders would be a full map draft, so if people really want, they could ban Pigeon's View. But that effect, if it does happen, will not happen until at least week 3. Starting at any time on Fridays, we have the bracket up shortly. Sure, I'd just say put something tame in there, Chum. So like from 8 a.m. GMT on Friday, UK time or whatever. So like at least you know, if there's any last second changes that need to be done, you have sanity check there. Like almost like you wake up in the morning and you hit the go button. So whatever time fits you there. But yeah, I think we can bring this forward a bit to give players a little bit more runway. I think we probably keep the cutoff point still the same, maybe. Just so that people early in the day and Saturday can play if they want to. And I think that fits, because also that's going to work really nicely on tournament days, because on tournament days, when people are going to play the 20 series, let's say like EGC starts their broadcast later than this quite often, or around this time, like it might be a warm-up situation, which some players want to treat like that. They're going to use this as a warm-up before they go and play the S tier tournament. So I think it works very well there. Didn't change the seeding. Gully, the seeding, if you only literally just lost, it wouldn't have affected seeding. I believe seeding was locked. Was it 4 or 5 hours ago? Is that right, Chim? We have a specific time when seeding locks each week. I think, did we list that on here? There you go. Yeah, you're fine. It was on Wednesday. So seeding will lock. Seeding deadline is Wednesday at 15 GMT. So really important for players. And we added a line to like clarify how players qualify, because there was a bit of confusion today over that. Use this crab fit thing, guys. It allows the admins to quickly see what you can do. If you guys can actually comm between you when you want to do things and then just communicate without Chim having to harass you with this, even better. Like I said, you literally just need to come into the Discord, which you should be a part of. And 1 second, let me find it, and I'll give a capture for you guys. You can very easily see what you should be doing. So we have created new channels for this, brand spanking today. I'm not leaking any DMs nicely unless someone now types something lewd in there. But in my Discord, each week, there will be under KP's midweek muster, and we'll get rid of these old ones. Probably like, we'll keep 2 in there. We'll archive like the older ones. There's going to be a KPMM2 for communications and draft. Communications is where you will type, I am going to play versus blah blah at this time. So you'll put your name, their name, the time, using the timestamp thing, which Jim will put in we'll put a resources channel with things they need, and we'll put that in there as well, so it's easy to find. There's a nice, useful Discord time converter. It's fantastic. Use it. Post those there, and then when you get to your series, you put your drafts in here. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. We kept it simple. You guys already are using Discord to communicate your series and when you want to play them to each other. Even though you could be doing it with StartGG, you guys use Discord. So this should be a breeze. So please do that. It makes our lives infinitely easier, because Chum has been the unsung hero, spending ridiculous amounts of hours sorting that behind the scenes, because people need to be handheld. So my goal is to get you all to a point where you don't need to be handheld, and it's all smooth and gravy. Okay, so I think that'll bring us to a close. Trying to think if there's anything else. I might end the stream soon. Hi, YouTube. You've all been doing good there. I've been keeping an eye on you occasionally. So I will be back tomorrow. I will probably aim to go live at... It'll be between 1 p.m. GMT UK time and 3 p.m. I might wait until 3 so that the live games are up. But !Discord, even if you're not one of the players, go on there, because I post out when I'm live. Turn notifications on here on Twitch as well, and you will know when I'm live, because the goal will be to be live by 3 p.m. at basically the same time we were live today. I will definitely be live by then. I might be live a little bit earlier if some of the players message me and say we'd be up for playing our series a little bit earlier, right? So we might get a nice, smooth live type situation. I think last Friday, we cast 5 or 6 series in a row, so it was a crazy good time. Where the Goombas? Everywhere. In my Discord, in my YouTube, they're everywhere. You're all Goombas. Equal Goombas in my eyes. No way, Ezra's in front of me. Take it up with my admin. After I just said give him less work. But I reckon we can chill for a few more minutes, and then I'll get ready to sign off. But yeah, like I said, guys, share this around, because a lot of people still don't know this is going on. I think some high-level players didn't have the info, or rather they didn't read. I think we had Corey here earlier asking about sign-ups for KPMM2. The sign-ups close on Wednesday, so if you are an aspiring player, literally go in here and do this. They are all there. Just go in and sign up to all of them. Even tells you that it's closing soon. So go here, I think Choom said he's got the other 2 weeks being added today, or by tomorrow, 5 and 6 will be up as well. Sign up to these. We haven't confirmed the map pool for free or whatever, but that will be... Usually we're aiming to confirm the map pool kind of start of the week of the previous rotation, which is good because it means players that are eliminated can go and practice the map in advance if they want to. So, apparently the brackets... Is it going to update in a few minutes? Okay, so we can hang around and then that'll probably be how we finish it. We'll show the brackets, the final bracket outcome. Let me just double check something. Yeah, we're good to go. Okay. By the way, guys... Another final reminder on the stream, Protein Works, exclamation mark Protein Works, check them out. 5 months, I think I said in a row. I want to make it 6. So, if you guys are looking for somewhere to get meal shakes, if you want to get your hands on some delicious pancakes, if you want to get your hands on some good multivitamins, because these come in gummy bear form. If you are a coffee addict and you're looking for either nootropics or you're looking for things like matcha latte or caramel latte, Protein Works has you covered. Exclamation mark Protein Works will get you across there. Do take advantage of that. There's loads of cool products in there. I think a lot of things are like 70 or 80% off right now, and my code you get an extra 10% off. I, in particular, highly recommend getting your hands on these that are up there on discount right now. It's the Loaded Legends bars. The individual bars are down to £1 each, which is cheaper than buying a box. They do run out 4th of December, but that's still just under a month for you to eat them, and they are delicious, so you'll go through them fast. Really like the chocolate hazelnut. I think the other one that's currently like that is the cookies and cream. That they're so good, I literally have an entire box of them. Boop. Wow, not for long. You hear that? That's quite empty. Oh. You want some delicious pigeon? You can eat my at. No, I'm not going to finish that statement. So, other thing as well is I will still try to figure out ways that we can organize some show matches midweek. I think that would be really cool to have in addition. We'll see, though. Midweek must have worked quite nicely, where basically, guys, we cast about 75% of the total games, and it filled us up nicely. But I will look into some different show match forms we can maybe do. We also will have the PC build that I'm hoping I will be able to finalize the details around to do towards the end of this month. It's going to be really funny because of the limitations on how I can stand and build PCs. Because this... Yeah, you got the foot cam details, by the way. I didn't keep it to OnlyFans. That's worth 10 subs. So get subbing, quick. But because of that, we're probably going to make it quite fun and different in that I might have either Emma or my mother help me build the PC, both of which have never built PCs before. So it'll be a great educational stream on how to build a PC and show you guys how easy it is to build one. And we'll also be aiming to build a peak top tier PC, latest and greatest tech in it. So really cool things happening on this channel. We'll aim to do that on one of these Thursdays after Grand Finals. Probably after like KPMM 4 or 5, I think seems most realistic, but we'll see. Bracket is up. Perfect. Let's go ahead and have a look and see who we've got going up against who then. Oh, also, if I have anyone who works for companies who are looking to sponsor events, please reach out. I'd love to get brands involved in this. We've partnered with some awesome brands in the past on this channel, and they've all been happy with the outcome of the integrations because I work my ass off to make sure people are happy. Like, that's the benefit of being someone who reps influencers, but also does sales on the side. I get what everyone wants out of the relationship. So if you are working for a brand or you do know someone connected to these different brands that are involved or interested in getting involved in gaming, let's be totally real. People don't care about traditional media anymore. The younger generation, a lot of them don't even watch TV. So these are the places to actually integrate to get your brand seen. So we go to brackets. Fred Ripper for you? No, I don't want to spoil it, but you don't really need a Fred Ripper. Fred Rippers don't usually make sense. So bracket. Why am I getting spammed on WhatsApp? Glad that disabled. Glad that didn't pop up earlier. Don't know how I feel about WhatsApp on my PC. Sometimes it is useful. Sometimes, yeah. So this is the final bracket, yeah? Okay, so let's look through the matchup. So we have got, and we'll zoom a few guys. So Bit Cousin, a new person featuring, is going to be going up against Wham. That's the price of being the Seed 32. Good luck with that, mate. I would say get practicing on the Pigeon's View. Little funny thing, guys. Pigeon's View, the adaptation of High View, Wham and Puppy Paw have told me multiple times that they hate stealth forests. So, make it their kryptonite. SAS versus Myriad. We're going to get that again. Wow. So, you're already seeing some shifts, though. Actually, I think Corvinus isn't in this one. So, Eliona versus Rama is going to be fun as well. Kiljadi's going to be going up against Boy instead of Kaiser Johan. I think Johan skipped this one, though. He said he's going to try to get back in for the next one. Dumu up against Red Darksider. Voldemar versus Ezra is a different one. We've got B versus Rivtal. Mia Micah's going to be going up against Gully Deckle. Puppypaw up against Stay Frosty. So that is the Seed 31 versus the Seed 2. Chuck Francis up against Dragavan. I think that'll be a really cool set as well. Crackety up against Aful. Freedy Cat up against Trackle. We've got Louis going up against Imjerticler. Lash up against Scatterbrained. I think we've already got some adaptations. I think last time Scatterbrained was up against someone else, or maybe I'm wrong with that one. Anatan is up against Stopper. And then MSN will be up against Mahodo. Yeah, so Mahodo and Louis met, I think, the first round last time. So you're already seeing how things get changed up week to week, which I really like. Wait, Crackety, did you get Puppy Paw where... No, you're safe for a bit, aren't you? Yeah, Puppy Paw this time, though. Yeah. Wait, didn't you get... Yeah, because you got... So Crackety, you'll get Cat, potentially, or Trackle into... Dragon, Chuck Francis, or Puppy Paw, or Stay Frosty. So, you know. That's true. That's true. You did beat the Seed 1 last time, Crackety, so this is no problem. It's like, wait, can we... This made someone quit the weeklies. Have you had the improvement to your rank yet? Yeah. Were you 18 before? I think you were down like 18. You were down here, right? So Crackety, man, he's already seeing the benefits of this format. He's bumped up. If he does it again, if he beats Puppy Paw, man, he's going to... I think Crackety will, like, jump. Wouldn't Crackety jump to, like, Zertan's position? Or close to? 17, now you're 16. But if you do it again now, with the current, like, how close this tight area is, you'd go... I mean, if active ranks, you'd go above CSO, I think, if you beat Puppy Paw. So that could be crazy, man. Crackety, like, he might retire as a caster, go back to playing. Full time. Oh. Yeah, CSO's higher rank. Well, he had some interesting performances. I think, like, was it Lucifer or Vortex he beat in one of the tournaments? Yeah, CSO's done quite well. CSO in Midweek Muster #1, didn't he have... Well, he beat Dimmu. So that was like, yeah. So you weren't the only one who farmed on the first week. He didn't get as big of a gain, but he got 20. Because he beat Dimmu, who's gone down a bit. Yeah, so Dimmu, I think... Actually, he didn't drop a rank, but the gap between him and Louis is bigger because Louis gained. So actually, I think was Dimmu 9th or 8th before he, maybe? Yeah, CSO is really impressive. Vortex said today he will maybe join the tournament in the future. Love to see it in Jerticler. I think for them, they're probably just not participating until New Year's. They're welcome, though. I would say there is an incredibly high likelihood of him just qualifying based on the ATR, right? Well, I mean, it's statistically impossible. If he signs up, he will qualify based on the ATR because he's in the top 8. So Vortex and Luciferon, if they both come back, they will be invited to the one they come back for. But they are open now. If they want to join sooner than 2025, they're absolutely welcome to. We've got editions 3 through 6 available for sign up now. Grey names are retired. Grey names are inactive. It doesn't mean they're necessarily retired, but we know they're not coming back. I'm surprised Zertan hasn't reached that point yet, but I think Zertan must have been active in a tournament recently. I can't remember the exact constraints, but I think it's after a certain amount of weeks of inactive, like certain amount of months or whatever, you're not playing in tournaments, you are grayed out. Where do I find the in-game name of players? That's an interesting question. So I think the way we kind of alleviate that is people who qualify off of in-game ladder basically need to have their real name. Because Choom doesn't need the tedious job of going Smurf watching. I've done that role for years. It's not fun. So, like, you know, for example, if Corvinus came back, it would be based on this account. Or if this account is lower than, like, his Smurf, yeah. I believe that's the way it works, though. Choom can probably confirm. Oh, poor Core. You can see why you want to sign up now. I think Core would have made it, right? Off of ladder ranking. Take the higher account. Okay, Choom is more merciful than I would be. I'm kind of tired of smurfing. Dude, look at this smurf here. 13th and 9th? Jesus Christ. When you pull away from your chair, is that like a weird Velcro noise from how sweaty you are? Think I win the qualifier too? Well, we're not doing qualifiers of this. What you just said there is an even bigger admin headache for Chum. Maybe, so, I mean, I've said this before. If this whole process proves to be a success, if we grow to 400, 500, 600 average viewers, then I will be able to explore bigger tournaments. And that's my goal. I always said with this thing is I wanted to fix a lot of the base issues in AoE 4 of like regular competitive action for players to practice in and mold in. A good way of sampling new maps without just throwing them into the ether of S-tier tournaments. A baseline for the scene that doesn't exist. And then also starting with something that is sustainable. I am not 2018 esports. I am not going to throw $50,000 into a burn pit. So I'm technically burning, like actually currently guys, like I am already burning money. Just not at an insanely high degree, but I am technically not making money yet. But the goal is to grow this, to make money, to then support it, and then grow things from there. So, you know, you have Age of RTS and Wildman's efforts coming up. You've got EGC already. I'd like for us to be able to be an extra arm in the scene. And beyond. And yes, I will point out to players, if you are playing in these weeklies, you need to keep your match history open. Even after you're eliminated, we will want to watch your series. It's not much to ask. We need the content to justify the tournament. So thank you very much for that. If you wanted to go practice some secret things, pretty much every single top player has a secondary account you can use. And Mio Micah is indeed Voir Aolang. He usually calls himself Voir Aolang now, even in tournaments. He should probably be told to switch it back while he's playing in the tournaments. We should probably mention that to him. Unless Voir Aolang is his new name. Catch up in chat. And yes, thank you, Rivdal. There we go. Last week, Puppy. This week, Louis. I want to have a game with chance of winning. Wait, what was that in response to? So I will address one thing as people asked about double elim. The reason we won't be doing double elim is because the reality check is it's an adminning nightmare on an open scheduling format, because then you are almost doubling the amount of games you have to play by each cutoff point on the rounds. And also because certain rounds will be weighting based on previous rounds on the lower bracket, you then get an even bigger scheduling nightmare. So that's why we decided to not do double elimination. Don't think it's possible to keep BO3s. I don't think it's good anyway. Not with this. It doesn't work for weekly tournaments. Double elim is fine for bigger tournaments, but for this, it's fine. I think some people are upset because they're like, I'm up against top players and blah, blah, blah. But like, I would say treat it like this. Sorry, Bit Cousin, I'm going to target you. Statistically, the likelihood of you being wham is bad. Like, it's low, right? But there are things to learn. There is practice to be gained. And this will be much more valuable than you queuing 100 games on ladder. Much more valuable if you're paying attention and then reviewing the games afterwards. It all comes down to a matter of process and perspective and how you like approach your games. So like that's a big part of this. Is like, you know, the money is there to bring the bigger players in, and then the upcoming players have something to aim for, but they are getting in the same room to combat these players, to learn from these players, to practice against them. Because the reality is, outside of this, a lot of you are going to like reach out to say a Beastie or Marine Lord or whatever. They're probably not interested in scrimming. I'm not going to like flat out say they will not scrim with you. It's up to them. They might. But statistically, the likelihood, because they'll look at it and be, I don't know who you are. I don't know what the value is you bring. And it's not cruel. It's just reality check, right? It's like, compared to, for example, if they spent those hours scrimming against Wham or Vortex or whatever, right? They know that person's on their level. They know that person has like more potential things to teach both ways. So like, I see this as also a way of players who don't have the experience to get the experience. It's a really big part of this process. So I know some people are upset they don't have a competitive matchup right in their eyes, but think of it long term as you are getting 30 opportunities to improve at least. And if you seriously commit and you are seriously interested in improving, I guarantee you it will be of value. There is an element where when the skill gap is so big between you and your opponent, it's hard to learn many things because the mistakes are too different. But at the same time, it goes down to how you approach these things. Like one big value point you can get, even when the skill gap is big in game, is learning how to draft. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but some of the players in here will have never drafted a tournament series properly in their life, right? So now you get that experience because it's, I mean, we've got some players trying to go pro in chat, right? Like, talk to me about your first experience in an EGC tournament. Did you know what the hell to do with drafts, or did you just get out-drafted completely? You didn't even get a chance to skill express, right? Because you felt out-drafted. Because that's often how it works, because it's a whole new experience to just queuing on the ladder and saying, I'm going to play HRE this game. All right. I think, though, we're probably going to get ready to round out soon. For a low conk like me, it's just a beat after beat every week, but it's always fun to play. I mean, like I said, it's the route to improvement, right? We're not here to do hand-me-outs. You have to earn what you kill, you know? And I think that's fine. It's not about, like, I'm not here to give you so, like, I have a bigger pity system here than any other tournament that exists because I'm giving you 30 shots, right? But I'm not going to give you a pity system. I'm not, like, the problem that, and this is the thing as well, like, reality check is you need these big names to play in these tournaments because otherwise no one cares. There are plenty of examples out there in AoE4 that have tried to do these inspirational sets for lower ranked players and whatever, and no one tunes in. People want to see the big names. Sadly, we are quite an elitist scene. So you do need a balance of upcomers and existing players to even get the viewership. And can't emphasize enough, guys, viewership drives success. If these events don't get enough people watching, they don't get sponsors, and there won't be tournaments. Because I need to make a living eventually. And we are 3 whole years into the AoE4 journey, and I have, if it wasn't for me working third-party events, if I look at just my content creation, what I do on this channel, I have never once come close to paying my bills just based on this channel on YouTube. So that's hopefully what we'll be able to fix this, and then from there scale things additionally around it. Am I satisfied with the viewership? I think it's a good start. The viewership isn't where I want it to be to feel confident about starting to make money, reasonable money. So we've still got some way to go. But I would say the viewership was reasonable considering we didn't have much time to marketing. You know, I had baby, Wallalo, and then leg break. So I didn't have as much time to put into marketing, and we had to roll this quickly. And there were some last second adaptations which changed things drastically. I would say overall viewership was reasonable first week. It's hard to gauge right now because we had a reasonable amount of hosts. So day one was phenomenal the first week because we had Marine Lord and Dimu hosting at different points. And Marine Lord, admittedly, like, he hosted through at the end of his stream, right? But, like, his numbers done well every time he streamed, but his numbers aren't my numbers. So, like, it's hard to pitch that to a sponsor unless the sponsor can get a guarantee that Marine Lord will then show their brand and use, like, a clean feed, which is, I don't know if I can even enforce that in AoE4. So, like, the primary channel needs to do well, basically, because otherwise, like this is the worry, and we'll find out. Otherwise, I'm just creating content for bigger content creators to farm, and that won't be sustainable either. Yeah, there's Lash, and then there's, like, potentially if Drongo's going to upload YouTube videos, then there's, like, that as well, right? And it's, you know, that's why also things like making sure you reference that it came from this tournament, giving shout outs to this tournament help a lot with that. Big shout out to Marine Lord for the raid today, for example. These things help. But my goal is by week 4, I want us to be cracking 500 average viewers for grand finals at least. I think today is probably about 320, 330. So it's not bad. It's actually pretty decent. But we've got some room for improvement. And like I said, I appreciate help from the community in doing that. Like, word of mouth. There's plenty of Discord communities. Let them know that this is literally the go-to place for their Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And also, Reddit threads help a lot. I'm terrible at doing Reddit. I've never been good at doing Reddit. I also feel it probably looks weird if I'm the one posting on there. So if people find epic moments, like, guys, if you haven't seen it today, the game 2, game 3 in particular, clippable, shippable moments, put them on Reddit, let people know. Let them know that this is part of a big tournament. And then we grow. My hopes is by week 15, I'd love us to be cracking 600, 700, maybe 800 average viewers. That might be a bit too bold, but we'll see. Wasn't it pretty much always harder than 400 a day? No, I can literally tell you right now, Twitch, so my average viewership is 335. Which means like we're past the threshold now because I think we're below that. So like our viewership will now decline the longer we stay on. So it done well. We peaked well because we got over 1,000 when Marine Lord raided at the end. But yes, word of mouth helps a lot. I've said before to people, if they don't want to drop big money on the channel, I mean, if I've got some whales, I'll take that. But if I've got people that can't afford to drop money on the channel, afford to take 5 or 10 minutes sharing it around that these things are happening. Sharing around this channel is working its ass off to try and make AoE4 a better place. But with that in mind, I'm going to end it on YouTube. Thank you much to the YouTube people. Much love. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be live by 3 p.m. GMT UK time at the latest when we kick off the start of Midweek Muster number 2. I'll see you all there.